All right, good evening, everyone. We are live from the Donatorium for another episode of The Fat Minute. Joined tonight by my co-host. Where's the beef? It's BVJ.
Back from the dead.
Returning guest. I'm loving it. Jake Small.
Hey, hey.
First-time guest. Have it your way. Tate Griffin.
Did you just say you're coming from the fucking Donatorium?
I did.
I know. Hey, Tate, it's the dumbest fucking thing ever, but just let him have it.
No, fuck you. It's adorable.
All right. In light of that, I have about 8 minutes, so let's make this quick.
I'm, of course, your host, Don John, finger licking good. So be
You
sure.
can say that twice.
We got some promotional stuff to do for our guest tonight. Be sure to follow Jake, if you aren't already, on Twitter and Twitch at KangaShark. And as for Tate, you can find Tate. He's a great artist. He's the guy who did our title card that I'm sure all of you have seen at this point. So he's always available to hire for commissions. You can follow him on Twitter at Tate Griffin, Facebook, Tate Griffin Comedy. He's also got his first comedy album, No Stage Too Small, available on Spotify and Amazon. It's fucking hilarious stuff. And
Yeah,
Tate,
I'll be appearing next week at the Donatorium.
You know what? How about I just stop promoting your shit? How about that?
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. Please continue.
Is that like Mr. Megorium's Wonder Emporium?
No, say.
The difference is this place is within budget.
Oh. So is this like an every other week kind of thing? Like, is next week's show like at the Blakeatorium?
No.
No.
Donnie runs the show here. He held it up
see.
with like cardboard
I-
and popsicle sticks.
I am the man behind the curtain.
I am the boy in the shed.
I'm the man in the
Wow.
boat
Classic.
Finish
I'm
up.
sorry, Don.
playing things.
To finish up, Tate also hosts an open mic every Thursday at 43 South Potomac Street, C&O Infusions in Hagerstown, Maryland. And also be sure to follow him on Instagram, Tate Griffin Comics, where you can find the hilarious webcomics Barry's Bad Day and Three Bad Clowns.
Tate, you have a couple different Instagrams, don't you?
I have about 40, but we don't have that much time. So you guys, I appreciate go to the one. It'll spider web out into all kinds of self-serving tripe. But yeah, no, I thank you for all the other mentions.
Okay. Well, y'all just go to the Fat Minute accounts, and you'll find these accounts somewhere within there.
Yeah. All right, so the Fat Minute's about to get a little obese tonight because we are ranking fast food places, just about every major fast food place in the fucking country. So we're going to go ahead and get into it here. Our criteria was it had to be a place that didn't have any table service, no waiters. They don't bring the food to you, nothing like that. We also excluded pizza places because if you have to wait more than 10 minutes, that's not fast food. And so let's go ahead and get into it here. First place, we're going to start off with A&W. A&W restaurants. Now, I have never eaten at A&W, unfortunately. But I love the root beer, and I've always heard good things about the restaurant. So, Blake, well, you're the one who suggested this one. Why don't you go ahead and go into it?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if maybe it's the novelty talking, but I kind of wish there were more of them. I think it's pretty enjoyable for what it is. I think it's undersold, underrated, I guess, under the radar with some. One of the most famous stories behind the A&W restaurant was that they had introduced a third pounder burger to compete with the McDonald's quarter pounder, and it failed because too many Americans were under the impression that 1/4 was a bigger number than 1/3.
Oh, that's where that came from.
And that's why we have the Electoral College.
That's great.
Also, not to interrupt you, Blake, I forgot to mention the way we're ranking each restaurant.
Yeah.
It's from S to F. S being the best, F being the worst. S, A, B, C, D, F.
Yep. So yeah, I still don't really understand the whole purpose or existence of S. I mean, I thought we were. I I know it's a thing. I know it's been done elsewhere, but why not just do the whole school thing?
I'm so glad you brought that up, Blake, because I'm sitting here like I got at least a decade or more on all of you guys, and I'm like, did they fucking introduce S in school at some point since 1995?
In Japan, they do it this way.
It's straight up a video game thing for the most part, from my
I
experiences.
should have fucking known that the owner of the Donatorium would try to pull that shit out of the bag. So A is A, and S is the teacher's pet, and sticking around for a blowjob after class. Is that what you're saying?
Yes, it stands for super, which I think a blowjob after class sounds pretty super to me.
I don't like the direction this is going. I need y'all to shut the fuck up, or else I can't run for office in 8 years.
I mean, just wait till.
Blake, you're in a spot, though, because what's funny about this, you're at where I was about 20 years ago, and that is that you have a child that is going to grow up and have a very brief period where she gives a shit about seeing what you've said and done. My kid's already past that point. They don't listen to any of this, so I can pretty much say whatever. You still, you might have just a little bit of a marker there, you know?
That's why I have to be the wholesome lad that Donnie picks on.
If you're feeling bad already, just imagine how you'll feel after all this fast food.
Yeah, true. So yeah, just to summarize, I don't really fucking get the whole point of S. It seems a little redundant if we're doing A, B, C, D, F. But anyway, A and W. Just to sum it up, I said what I needed to say. I'm gonna put it at oh shit. I'll put it at C. I think it's solid, but it's still not like a. I mean, I guess I haven't gone on a road trip to seek it out, so that speaks for itself. So I'm gonna put it at C.
I ate there several times at the one in just outside of Pittsburgh in Monroeville, right on the main drag, and it's right by the Monroeville Expo Mart actually, and it actually went out of business here about a year and a half ago. But I went there. I don't know. I'm gonna say 3-4 times a year, and it was always just kind of. There's a reason I went back, especially on a list on a road like that where there's a ton of other options. I agree with you, Blake, in that it has kind of a nostalgic kind of a feel. And did you ever get the hot dog there?
Actually, and you know what? I could probably count on one hand how many times I've been there, and I haven't been there in a long, long time. But I vaguely remember getting a hot dog one of those like 4 or 5 times.
Yeah, they had like a foot long, and I thought that was cool because nobody else is really doing that at a drive-thru other than I think Sonic does it at some point.
Oh, Sonic has a foot long, and I've had theirs.
Yeah, but I'm with you though. I'd say it's about a C.
Yeah, fair enough.
What about you, Jake?
So I'm going to be the weird one in this, who has the strange opinions because
what the
I
fuck
don't eat a lot of
else is
food. I know, right? It's crazy.
I love you, Jake.
All my opinions are going to be based on chicken tonight. Because
you are the worst fat guy ever.
I know, it's wonderful. I get all the joys of being a fat guy, eating a lot of food and eating terrible food, and I don't gain the weight. But yeah, it's just I just recently started eating burgers like a couple of years ago because my dad makes awful burgers that are like super overdone, and then as making them myself, I make them way better. And I refuse to eat them at fast food because I don't want to go to a burger place and be like, can I just get it with like only bacon because I'm a weirdo?
Mm-hmm.
And that's never fun. So A&W kind of has a little. I haven't been there a whole lot. The only place that I can think of, the only A&W I can think of, is a combination A&W KFC that I've been to. And we'll get to KFC later. But I remember ordering from there and getting A&W fries with my KFC and being like, this blows potato wedges so far out of the water. And then eventually tried like some of their like chicken tenders and stuff like that. For me, I would say I'd go a step further and give it a solid B.
The B?
Yeah, B sounds pretty good for it.
I can't argue with that though. I need to go back. That's my main thing. I need to return. So
Yeah, it's definitely one. See, now the Long John Silver's right near my house is also an A&W, and I forgot about that as I was picking up Long John Silver. So I was like, oh yeah, I should have got some chicken here too for research. Oh well.
All right, let's move on to the next place, Arby's.
What about yours, Donnie? You didn't rank it. Oh, you've never been there, right?
Yeah, I've never been there. Pay attention.
Sorry. Never.
Bob was listening. Arby's. Arby's.
Oh
Is,
shit!
what?
Just go. Just go.
What'd you say?
I said, oh shit.
I got strong opinions about Arby's.
All right. Well, Arby's. I feel like Arby's is decent. It's okay. I mean, the fries are good. I don't go there often just because I never have a huge craving for them. But every time I go there, it's usually pretty decent. The gyros are really good. That's probably my go-to whenever I go there. I'm gonna give Arby's a solid B. Like I said, I don't go there often. I never really have a craving for them, but on the odd occasion that I do end up there, I usually end up enjoying myself. Tate, you got strong opinions. You go ahead.
I eat at Arby's probably 5 times a month. I hit it at least once a week. And my go-to is everything under the fucking roof on one bun. And what I mean is, like, in the summertime, they'll do this thing where they do a club sandwich. They put it on multi-grain bread. They put Swiss cheese, turkey, roast beef, and ham on there. So you get all that, and the sandwich is like $8, and it tastes like a real deli sandwich. They got onions and lettuce and tomato, the whole bit.
Mm-hmm.
So what I do is you find out, I don't know if you've ever found this out, but you can buy their roast beef for $1 an ounce. They'll just lay it on there. So I'm like, all right, well, yeah, they'll lay it's $1 an ounce for extra roast beef. So I'll get the big club sandwich, which itself has, I think, 5 or 6 ounces of meat on it. And then I go ahead and spend another $8 in roast beef. So it's like a 1 pound monstrous sandwich that I then get them to give me as much horseradish sauce as they're legally allowed to get away with. And I just douse in that. It's like John Travolta in Pulp Fiction. They fucking drown in that shit.
Oh my God, you haven't taken a shit since the Reagan administration, haven't you?
I am right now. No, I get that giant sandwich, and then they give you that 44-ounce monstrous cola. It's like I try to get a Coke Zero, partially to kind of offset the calorie count, and partially because I think it's kind of ironic. And that's usually what I go with. I used to eat the curly fries, but I don't know, my heart hurt after I ate them. Maybe it's because of all the meat. So I just stick to the sandwich and the Coke Zero.
Tate, your colon is the donatorium.
I don't like you anymore.
They probably both smell the same.
I don't like you guys anymore.
It's not really fair of me to say that I have strong opinions, because I'll be honest with you, I got strong opinions about 90% of the places on your list. So I don't want to be running off at the mouth. You guys, just let me know when it's my turn.
All right, well, what do you rank Arby's at?
It gets an A.
An A? All right.
Yeah, for me, because, and I'll tell you why, just real quickly, it's fast food, but that sandwich and all of their deli sandwiches, because they come on like those buns, or they come on like it's like a honey bun, a wheat bun, or multi-grain bread. It's like you're going to an actual deli. And it reminds me a little bit of a place called Chicken Derby that was in Pittsburgh forever. You go in and it's like a real deli sandwich. And, you're going through a drive-through, and to get a sandwich like that, it's the same. Before you add the absurd and obscene amount of roast beef that I put on it, just order that sandwich. It's cheaper than a freaking Big Mac, and it's it's got like 900 calories, but it's meat and lettuce and tomato and multi-grain 12-grain bread. I just think it's a hell of a deal for going through a drive-through if you're looking for something that isn't a greasy ass burger, which, granted, I'm usually looking for. So,
all right,
I give it an A.
All right, I could definitely get behind that logic. Jake, what do you guys say?
Arby's is definitely one of those good places. Mostly for me because of their wonderful curly fries. Like, oh my God, you give me some of them curly fries and it's about to go down. I could probably eat just a bucket of those on their own. Mm-hmm. Other than that, it's I haven't had a lot of sandwiches from there. It's one of the few places that I look at it and like see the sandwiches and I'm like, damn, that looks really good. I'm going to place it at an A, and mostly because of the recent slogan change, it does not get an S, because it just drives me insane that they no longer say we have the meats, which at first I thought was like, okay, they changed that because it sounds kind of sexual, and that's a little weird. But no, it's because it's because people didn't realize that when they say we have the meats, they meant all the meats and not just roast beef. And I'm like, oh, how'd you not know? Have you seen their commercials? But, it's just the fact that caving into corporate weirdness like that and being like, we need to specify that these are for sandwiches and all sandwiches, not just roast beef.
Yeah, because
it's just ridiculous.
Because in the year 2020, everybody isn't sure of what Arby's is all about.
Which just baffles me.
Real quick, I got to throw this out there. Speaking of curly fries and sexual innuendo, I got to tell you, this one time I was going through the drive-thru, and you ever get that thing at a fast food place where they give you the fries, you could tell they were the bottom of the barrel shitty fries. Yeah. None of them are wrong. They're all like they're really crappy. Just it's almost like they got you those fries that have Andy Capp on the cover. So
I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah, so they're like, these are curly fries, but they don't even make a whole curl.
Yeah,
so
they're like that half moon shape, and that's it.
Yes, a half moon. So I take them in there, and I set them down and went, hey, these are supposed to be curly fries. They look more like short and curly fries. Like, maybe you could take this pew pouch and get me back some real fucking French fries. I was ballsy like that because I was in Winchester and knew I'd never be back. I'm sorry. Go ahead. Continue.
Blake, talk about Arby's.
So I think what can be said about Arby's the most amongst us, because I don't know where I was going with that sentence anyway. Oh, fuck that stroke. Anyway, there was a time in LaVale, Maryland, when the biggest story of the month was the fact that Arby's moved 2 stores down the street. That was the most newsworthy shit.
To make room for a CVS.
Yeah. It's like, oh, did you hear it moved, outside of the corner right next to CVS? And it's like,
it
why
moved 8 feet to the right.
Yeah, why is this the biggest news story right now?
It's funny you say that, Blake, because in 1989, the biggest news story was right across the street from there. You know where that the gas station and the Diamond Shine car wash is right there?
Yeah.
They tore down a Popeyes there.
Oh shit!
Really?
It was a dark day. I remember thinking, "Oh, I'm gonna get some Popeyes, and I'm going to see Batman, and then I'm going to see Last Crusade," and there was no Popeyes in the mix.
Mm.
Oh man,
it's a shame.
Just wait. I have a Popeye story to tell when the time comes.
Oh yes.
There's a sentence you don't hear every day.
Anyway, as far as Arby's goes, am I the only person that actually missed when they had normal fries?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. All right. Well, there's that conversation. But anyway,
I'm with you. How about that bitch that tries to act like she makes all the fucking food in her oven in New Orleans? I hate her. Sorry.
I remember Donnie and I have a mutual friend who bitched that she wasn't like the real CEO of Popeyes. And by your own logic, you're angry that Ronald McDonald isn't real. Like,
everyone knows McDonald's is run by Mayor McCheese. Come on now.
Nothing can kill the grimace. Anyway.
He is the horror that stalks the night.
But anyway, as far as Arby's goes, I don't love it. I don't dislike it. I enjoy it whenever I do get around to it. I think it's my wife's favorite fast food joint. But I enjoy it whenever I have it. I never miss it though. It's not like I crave it anyway. I remember fall 2016, I was having Arby's like every other day because they had these sliders, and I don't know, I was just like really into them, and I was on an Arby's kick, and I went from having Arby's like every other day, and then that was the same season that I went through the most depressing heartbreak of my entire life, and I got super depressed, and I lost a lot of weight, and that is probably the closest I will ever have to getting like a rehab cleanse. But
wow.
So anyway, I didn't have heroin. I had Arby's.
You know what's funny about that is that when I was in high school, I was dating this girl. I dated her for 3 years, and we were get to the point where like we're arguing about everything, and she wanted to go to Arby's, and I don't think up until that point I'd ever gone. I was like 16. I don't think I ever went. To me, it's like go get hamburgers. Like burgers are what you get. Mm-hmm. I got there and didn't know that they didn't have hamburgers, and I went through the line. I'm like, did you know they don't have any fucking hamburgers here? She's like, yeah, it's supposed to be something a little better than that. And I called her a communist, and we broke that story thereafter.
Oh, so. Arby's is the killer of love that was never meant to be. So there you go. But,
all right.
Yeah,
And
Blake, I think both you and I are better off.
Yes. And to add to your point, Jake, my wife actually once made that point where she's like, it's really weird how Arby's saying is we have the meats, and they're like, they don't have burgers at all. Like they have, ham, they have turkey.
Yeah, that is a fair point.
But yeah, she's like, you would think that they would at least have like a tokenistic burger on the menu. But anyway,
And that's what they should call it, the tokenistic burger. Have a minority trying to sell it.
that's literally on the commercial with like discount Morgan Freeman talking or Keith David or whoever the fuck they have. Just tokenistic burger. Anyway, I'm gonna put it at a C. I don't love it. I don't dislike it by any means, but I never crave it or miss it anymore. So I'm gonna put it at a comfortable C.
Communist C. All right. All right. Next place, Burger King. Burger King's a tough one for me. It's somewhere between a B and a C. Like, I eat there a decent amount. Like, there's moments where I'll have a craving for it, but I always get the same thing. Like, I always get the Bacon Stacker King. Like, I usually don't venture outside of that just because I don't feel like anything else on the menu is really worth venturing for. But usually when I get that, I'm usually pretty satisfied. I'm gonna go ahead and put Burger King at like a comfortable C. Somewhere right in the middle. Like it's decent, but there's only a couple things on the menu that are really worth like going for, in my opinion. Blake, you go ahead.
So if you would have had me on this podcast 20 years ago, one, my mom would have pressed charges because there were three strange grown men asking me on a podcast. I would have put Burger King at like super S, and I just realized that spells SS, and now I accuse Burger King of being Nazi. But anyway, I would have had Burger King like at the top, like God level, because it was my all-time favorite place to eat, like my first like 10, 12 years of life.
It was definitely the place my parents like always went to for the whole family if they were getting like fast food for dinner.
And like growing up, like they had the better toys, in my opinion.
Oh my God, yeah.
Oh, McDonald's had the bitch toys, but but I mean, like, Burger King had like Men in Black, and they had Action League Now, which you and I
had Simpsons.
Oh, yeah.
They had the Simpsons toys.
They had the Simpsons toys. There was like 30 different toys for the Simpsons line.
And they were all Treehouse of Horror.
Yeah, I remember having the Godzilla Bart figure from there.
Yeah, I think I had Homer as Frankenstein or some shit like that.
Yeah.
But no, that was dope.
Yeah.
But yeah, as a kid, like Burger King would have been untouchable. Since then, like they have had a huge falling from grace. Every time I get there, it tastes burnt. It just tastes like all the flavor was grilled out of it. And I have tried the Impossible Whopper, and
Tastes like ass.
There was a book
that this burger tastes like.
There was a book, a scholastic book in elementary school called McMummy, and it was about this like it was basically E.T. but with this like creature that was like it was a bunch of plants that came to life or whatever. But anyway, like the Impossible Whopper literally tastes like McMummy's ass. Anyway, as far as how I feel about Burger King this moment, I'm sorry. I mean, you were my brother. I loved you. You were supposed to destroy the Sith, not join them. I'm gonna put them at a D.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Tastes like McMummy's ass. What a ringing endorsement. Jake, go ahead.
Okay, so first, before I start talking about my thoughts on Burger King, I want to ask you all a question. Do you guys remember when Burger King did ribs that one time?
Oh, yeah.
No.
Did you ever try them?
I not only tried them, I got them to pour me a small cup of the barbecue sauce into a cup, and I used it as a beverage.
Yes, perfect.
That's not a joke.
I believe it, man. That sounds like the perfect way to do it. That was one of those things. Like a lot of fast food places do those like specialty items once only, or bring it back every now and then. And that was one that I was like, I got to try this because ribs is one of my absolute all-time favorite foods to eat. It's delicious, especially when they like melt right in your mouth. And it was one of those things where I was like, they're good, but they are certainly fast food ribs, and they are kind of overpriced for the size of them. But what do you expect for rib meat? I'd say that was probably for me where Burger King kind of hit its peak in my life and then started to steadily go down. I will always say if I have a choice of where to go for breakfast between Burger King and McDonald's, I will take Burger King so I can get me a sausage croissant from there with crispy crowns, because they do those crispy crowns just right if you're lucky, and they just crunch like you're eating peanuts basically, and it's just amazing. Other than that, since they changed their chicken nuggets like 18 different times over, and now they're just processed trash, and chicken fries don't count. Chicken fries, I think, are stupid. They're like bottom of the barrel for chicken product. I've got to say that I agree with Blake on this one, and Burger King's got to be a D for me at this point.
Alrighty.
Spread them open, McMummy.
Tate, go ahead.
Okay, so when I was growing up, like my parents, that would be where we would go, because at that time, Burger King was still, when they say flame broiled, they were literally grilling the burger up on a freaking grill. Like you could see them doing it. Mm-hmm. Then it got to the point where it was cooked ahead of time, but then they still seared it on a grill. Like when it got there, like when you ordered it, they did it so it still kind of had that initial like reconstituted barbecue flavor. Now they don't do any of that shit. They basically microwave it. They nuke it, they slide it in. Like it doesn't taste anything like that. To me, there's like the three major brands, the brands that kind of permeate pop culture. Mm-hmm. And for me, it's always been Burger King, McDonald's, and Wendy's. Mm-hmm. And if I'm putting the three of those in a category, McDonald's is Back to the Future 1, Wendy's is Back to the Future 2, and Burger King is Parkinson's disease. It's a fucking soulless
oh my God.
And I give it a fucking F-. I fucking hate it.
Oh, wow.
That all said, in 2002, I was managing a music store in Morgantown, and when you leave Morgantown, as soon as you cross Cheat Lake, heading back to Cumberland, the last refuge before you have to get basically another 40 minutes down the road is right off to the right. There was a Burger King. So I would pull in there, I would order 2 double Whoppers, throw away the superfluous second bun, make an unprecedented quad Whopper with an order of onion rings, and 3 of those Hershey's chocolate pies.
Oh,
and
man.
I was putting that away. No shit, I was putting that away 5 days a week for about 6 months. I gained like 35, 40 pounds. I mean, I was in my early 20s. Like I had a metabolism, but yeah, I had to shovel it in. And anymore though, and sometimes I wonder, maybe you guys can tell me, like the Burger Kings here, the one down in Cumberland and the one in the Vale, they're terrible. I don't know if it's nationally they're just all awful, but I think they're fucking terrible. Like if I eat it, it makes me feel sick every time. Like I try to avoid it, but if like one of the kids want to go, or I'm with someone else that wants to go, and I try to get something, like I haven't had it in a while, I regret it 100% of the time. It's probably the bottom of my entire list. I don't know. You had what, conservatively 800 different fast food places we're reviewing. This right here. This is at the bottom of my list.
Oh, wow.
I think it's my least favorite of all of the ones on the list that I've tried.
I mean, like I said, there's literally like 1 or 2 things on their entire menu that I will touch when I go there. And granted, I'll eat it and I'll be like, that was all right. But like outside of that one thing, I won't venture outside. I won't venture too much on their menu.
Yeah, I'd rather walk through the Donatorium than drive through a Burger King.
Why do you hate me so much?
Oh, my dear Lord.
You're never coming to my birthday ever again.
Did everybody else just leave?
Yeah, they caught a whiff of McMummy's ass.
I'm just thinking about McMummy's like thick cheeks.
Wait, are you guys talking about Mac and me?
No, I just posted the book cover on Twitter. You got to check the thread. So
while we're all checking that thread, let's move to the next place, Bojangles.
Oh yeah.
I've only had Bojangles like 2 or 3 times, so I haven't had them enough to like really form a very strong opinion about them. But every time I've had them, it's been fucking good. I'm just gonna cut to the chase. Bojangles, A.
Yeah. My whole family is my mom's whole side of the family is from the South, so there's Bojangles everywhere down Tennessee and Virginia, and I don't know, I've been there probably 50 or 100 times, and I always dig it. The Bo Rounds, it's like it's almost too much hash brown in one disc. It's like the size of a hockey puck, and yeah, it's glorious.
What would you rank it at?
I'd give Bojangles a solid B.
Solid B.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. The chicken, I think that what happens with them is the chicken almost always tastes. It has that Taco Bell syndrome in the sense that they're using the same 3 or 4 ingredients to make every single thing that they give you. So if you get a chicken finger, it tastes the same as the chicken sandwich, as the chicken nuggets, as the chicken twists, as the chicken fries, you can tell it's all coming from the exact same mixture. And so I'd say the only thing it loses points on is variety.
Okay, that's definitely fair. Blake, what do you guys say?
Yeah, I have to. I've only been to a Bojangles once, but my immediate impression, I have to agree with Tate, is I was looking at the menu and I was just like, there isn't much variety here. But anyway, I got like the basic, like a chicken biscuit with some fries. I was content, I didn't love it, but I didn't dislike it by any means. It got me through the road trip back from Myrtle Beach, so I'm gonna put it at a content C.
Content C. All right, Jake.
Well, first of all, I want to say that McMummy looks like he's about to be rolled up and smoked by Snoop Dogg. Like that's a weird. Those are weird book covers. Anyway, Bojangles. I think I have a little bit of a bias towards Bojangles at this point because this is a fairly recent discovery for me. I think like in the past year I had my first bit of Bojangles and thought it was pretty good for like, since it's just a straight chicken place pretty much. Chicken tenders were wonderful. Any like chicken on a bone, chicken legs were just phenomenal. I've been going there a lot. I love their like seasoned fries. I love the biscuits. Everything about it is wonderful. I'm throwing Bojangles into my first S rank.
Really?
Yes.
Wow.
Straight up. I'm
right.
all about it. But I am like the chicken guy here, so
Okay.
I have strong chicken based opinions.
This chicken.
What can I say? I just love cock so much.
Oh wow.
Next place. Chipotle. All right, so Chipotle, if we would have done this like 5 years ago, Chipotle would have been like a straight up A for me. It's definitely like diminished in my eyes. I still like it. I haven't been there in quite a while. It's good, but I'm just kind of like if I want burritos or tacos or whatever, I'm gonna go to like an actual Mexican restaurant and get something of better quality especially for the price that they charge. I'm gonna throw Chipotle at a C. Just a solid content C. Like it's good. Ooh. It's good, but like with the exception of the burrito, pretty much everything's on the menu's overpriced. And like I said, if I want food like that, I'm gonna go to like a legit Mexican restaurant.
Can I jump in here? Is that okay, guys?
Go for it.
All right, take Chipotle's name out your mouth, motherfucker, because it's my number one answer. Chipotle is my absolute number one.
Okay.
I gotta respectfully or disrespectfully disagree. You go in there and get the bowl. I get the steak bowl. And, the thing about Chipotle is it's like, okay, does it seem overpriced? I don't know. They do a lot of the stuff that's supposed to be like GMO free and all that shit, but they give you extra of anything you want free of charge other than the meat. So I like get double the rice, double the corn, double the salsa, double the peppers, double the sour cream, and double the cheese. And then I pay for the double steak. I mean, it's like literally a pound and a half of food. And I think it's awesome. Like my wife and I going up to Pittsburgh 3 days a week for the best part of 4 years. I mean, I ate there 3 or 4 times a week, every single week. There was times that she and I were rolling into town at 4 o'clock, and we would eat there, and when we were leaving at 9, we'd stop again on the way back out. I think it's awesome. I love it. It's the maybe the only S on the list for me, but it's an S for me.
All right, Blake. I know you're gonna have a lot to say about Chipotle. You go ahead.
Yeah. So it kind of the same sentiment you had, Donnie. Where if you would have asked me this question a few years ago, like maybe even 5-6 years ago, especially, I would have had Chipotle as like God tier, like easily an S rank. And then I guess once I started visiting my wife, eventual wife in Hagerstown, and then Frederick, I was able to have it more often. And I had it so much, I got tired of it. Mm-hmm. And
I remember we would take a trip out of town for a day, like at least once a month, and every time we went, we had to go to Chipotle.
Yeah, and then also it was the reason why I went so long without trying a Five Guys, because every time we were by a Five Guys, there was just a Chipotle right next door to it, and I was like, well, I can get a cheeseburger anywhere. I'm just gonna go to Chipotle. Because like that's it's just.
Well, Blake, do you think though? I mean, I'm just asking. Do you think, like you maybe it falls a little bit from that? Do you think that it's because the quality went down, or do you think that it was something you had so much that you personally kind of stepped back from it because you had it so much? And in that case, is the drop in the grade really fair to apply to the restaurant? You know what I'm saying?
I know. I think that's a very honest and fair thing to ask. I think there was a drop in quality at some of the locations I had gone to, but that could have just been the locations. I remember like Memorial Day weekend 2018, my wife and I took a trip to Indianapolis, and we came back, and we were just, I don't even know where we were, somewhere in Ohio, and we went to a random Chipotle, and everything tasted hard. I can't tell you anything else about how it tasted. The only word I can say is it tasted hard.
No, I know exactly what you mean. Actually, I've definitely been to one where it just wasn't the good time. You get to the bottom of the barrel, or for whatever reason, it tastes kind of cruddy. I mean, I totally get that.
So, and then I got like super fucking sick that week. I got the hot sweats. I got.
Did you get the pee bug?
I got the kind of, every time I farted, it gave me a migraine.
Oh my god!
I mean, like, I was ready to call my mom and confess to it all.
Let me ask you, Blake, because if you were a big fan of it, I mean, I definitely am. To Donnie's point about going to a real Mexican restaurant, one of the things I like about Chipotle is it doesn't taste too Mexican-y. Like I like that it doesn't have too much of that kind of Tex-Mex kind of a thing going on.
You're all about the gentrification, aren't you?
I agree. It has a more neutral, in a good way, sense to it. It's not like I don't know, like some of the places you'll go in downtown Cumberland where it's just punch in the face, like Mexican tasting. But
that place, I don't know if it's on the list or not. That place that's like the knockoff of Chipotle, like Quibaro or some shit. Cubo.
Moe's?
Cabaro.
No, it's like a Q. Starts with it has a Q in it. It's a national or a regional chain.
I have no idea what you're talking about. I know Moe's is basically knockoff Chipotle, and that's on the list for tonight.
Yeah, and maybe
I think I've seen Cabaro around a few places.
Is that Sabaro's special cousin? Like what that?
That's what I was wondering. Yeah. Well, and part of maybe why Chipotle seems to go down a little bit is about 4 years ago, fucking McDonald's bought them. So
oh yeah,
that might have something to do with it.
But well, anyway, hold on. You're judging what I'm getting at here. You don't know the ending yet. You're trying to spoil the ending here. Anyway. But I just remember my introduction to Chipotle was basically my girlfriend at the time said, "Oh, it's basically a Mexican Subway," and which is just a horrible underselling of it.
Yeah.
But, Anyway, the point being, I went to a few subpar locations. I kind of burned myself out on it. But I will say, in the last, this year alone, I've started to regain my appreciation for it. So where it would once have been an S, I'm gonna put it at an A. I'm gonna say it's an A.
All right. Jake?
So Chipotle is one of the things on the list that I have never eaten at. I think I've taken my ex there once and got a drink because they had one of those fancy Coke machines that has the flavor shots in it, and it was the only place I could get Coke with lime since they discontinued it. So that's my only experience with Chipotle is getting Coke with lime and being like, oh, thank God, Coke with
Dude,
lime.
you gotta try it out though. Have you ever read the book McMummy?
I think I'll pass.
All right, let's move on to the next place then.
It's like Subway, but McMummy.
I almost spit green tea all over my MacBook.
You almost spit green tea all over your McMummy.
I hate you.
Me too. Anyway, next place. Cookout.
Ugh.
I've never heard of this place. Jake, you're the one who suggested it. You take it off.
All right. I would say Cookout is kind of like it's similar to Five Guys because it's mostly burgers from at least what I've had there. There's more than just burgers. But it's also got fantastic milkshakes. They're super triple thick milkshakes that take you an hour to drink because the straw is too small and the milkshake is too thick. I think actually when I went there, I ended up drinking a third of it or a fourth of it and was like, I need a spoon. And got up and got one. It's pretty delicious. It's, a nice custom burger place where it's do you want the small burger? Do you want the medium burger? Do you want the large burger with 2 patties on it? And you just customize it from there and add whatever you want. There's no pressure to be can I get a number whatever and take everything off of it because I'm a loser weirdo? So yeah, for that and, delicious milkshakes, I would say Cookout is probably, that's kind of tough. I'd say a C. It's a good C. It's a nice place that if you see one, stop by it, give it a try, see what you think. Wouldn't go there all the time because it can be a little pricey at times, and yeah, kind of trailed off there, but whatever.
Blake?
Yeah, so anyway, I fucking hated this place. Anyway, and I think Tate has, and I was waiting for someone to finally say it, do you actually dislike the place or did you dislike the experience or the location you went to? And I think that question is going to echo throughout this episode, and I want to thank you for bringing it up. But honestly, as far as this goes, I've only been to one once, so I can only speak on the that specific experience. The fries were like shriveled up old lady fingers, and
that's gruesome as fuck.
They served my food to me in a fucking styrofoam box as though it was a cookout in an alleyway.
That's theming, Blake.
What'd you say?
That's theming.
They were serving you COVID style before COVID got here.
What the fucking theme is it's like a what is a celebration or a nursing home?
I mean, to be fair, your description of the fries does remind me of my old sugar mama, so that's probably some of the positive memories for me.
Well,
there.
while you're busy trying to suck off the diamond ring on that hand, anyway, enough with turkey and giblets. But and I just remember the time I went, they forgot my fries, and of course I got fucking fries with my cheeseburger. I'm getting a whole meal. They forgot my fries. I go back up, and they're like, "Oh, well, are you sure you got them?" And I'm like, "Yes." And they're like, "Can I see the receipt?" So I bring up the receipt, and they're looking at it. They're trying to look at the fine print. And it's there's only 3 things on my receipt, a burger, and fries. And also did just fucking take the scoop out some fries, put it in my styrofoam nursing home box, and just let me go home.
Hey, can I get a Coke in my Yahtzee cup?
Yeah.
Let's say I'm waiting for Adam Sandler to just jump in your car and dump the food on you, going, "Just eat that, leave us alone."
Yeah. So anyway, I can rant on this for the next hour. I'm gonna give Cookout an F.
Really?
Yes, I fucking hated it.
I never would have guessed that from your reaction when I suggested it, but that makes it all the better.
Blake, could you please just be a little more clear?
Tell us how you really feel.
Okay, so like, have you ever wondered what Richard Gere would look like if his nipples got super long?
Hold up. Repeat that sentence.
No, I need to move on.
I appreciate that.
Tate, what do you got to say about Cookout?
It sounds fucking awful. I don't know. I mean, based on the horrible things that Blake said, it made me forget everything that came before. It kind of reminds me. It sounds like a place. I don't know if you guys ever went to Backyard Barbecue. It was on the way to Altoona. It was only open for a couple of years, but I think it closed down about a year ago. But you go in, and it kind of has like a stripped down ghetto town, Cumberland-fied version of Five Guys. It's like, I don't know, 2.5 guys or something. But
They're smoking crack in the bathroom.
yeah, but I've never heard of it. I'd never heard of it until it was brought up today, and it sounds like a bullet I was happy to dodge.
All right. Then next place, Dairy Queen. I remember when I was a kid, for some reason I thought Dairy Queen and Burger King were like the same company, or owned by the same company at least. It just seemed logical to me. But anyway, Dairy Queen, as far as their food goes, it's okay. The only thing I really love on their menu is the flamethrower burger. But the main attraction of Dairy Queen obviously isn't the food, it's the ice cream. And as far as the ice cream goes, like, the only thing I ever get from their ice cream is their blizzards. And, like, sometimes they'll have some blizzards that are really fucking amazing. Like, they got an Oreo mocha blizzard out right now that's fucking great. But, like, for what you get and for the price, I mean, like, it's all right. I also think it seems to me like every town has, like, a mom and pop ice cream place that's a million times better than Dairy Queen. Mm-hmm. And I guess anybody who's lived in the Cumberland area has been too spoiled with Livy's. I'm gonna give Dairy Queen a C. I'm gonna put them at a comfortable C. Blake?
Yeah, I think Dairy Queen is kind of underrated. Like, when people think of it, obviously they think of the ice cream. I think their hot food is decent. I like the flamethrower burger. As far as their ice cream goes, yeah, I don't know if it's artificial sugar. I don't know if it's like 100% real dairy ice cream, whatever. But I mean, it fucking tears me up. I mean, like, I can't push anything out to the point that I feel airtight. And
oh my god.
So I mean, like, those blizzards, ain't nothing blowing out of this. But yeah, I mean, I like their hot food. And I want to like their cold food, but it's an abusive relationship. So I'm going to give them. I agree, Donnie. I'm going to give them a C.
All right. Jake?
Yeah, I'm pretty big on the Dairy Queen. There was a long stint where anytime I'd have a birthday, I would always get a Dairy Queen ice cream.
Is that who
cake.
your sugar mama was, the Dairy Queen?
Yes, we'll go with that for all that sugar.
What finger did you suck on the most?
The chicken finger.
Oh, the middle finger, because that's the sexy fuck finger. Anyway, yeah, so Dairy Queen. It's wonderful. I've always loved their blizzards. I used to always get like the chocolate dip cones as a kid. That was always nice. But then I graduated to like the drumsticks, and I can just buy them myself instead of going to Dairy Queen and having them make it for me. Other than that, I'd agree with Donnie a bit on the food. It's not the best, but it's also not the worst. It's a good kind of middle ground. And for whatever reason, their chicken comes with like buttered toast that never has butter on it.
Yeah.
I don't know. I always eat it anyway because it's there, and it's just toast. Like,
It's just toast.
Yeah, it's just toast. They could have that as an advertisement for that. It's
Dairy
just
Queen.
Toast.
It's just
toast. But I would say between the ice cream that they have, all the varieties of ice cream, and their wonderful ice cream cakes, I would give it a B.
A B?
Yeah.
A big old B for the D.
Yep. B for the D.
You stop by to get a scoop of the month, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, more or less. And
Yeah, the
let
good
the
old
queen
month.
stick her finger deep down in it.
Yeah. 25 days in a month.
Mm-hmm.
Tate.
Oh, yay! No, my daughter works there now. My son did work there. My daughter's been there for about almost 4 years, I think, 3 or 4 years. And as a result, I have a backlog of Dairy Queen ice cream cakes rolling in on the regular. So all of the novelty to that has completely worn off. What I'll say, though, that I do like about Dairy Queen is that $6. They were one of the first ones to do that, where you go through and it's $6 for lunch, but I think it starts at 11 and it ends at 6 at night. And you can go there and get a burger, an order of fries, a drink, and a sundae for $6. And I think that's pretty awesome. You add an extra dollar and they'll make it a blizzard. I'm a fan of that. The burgers, I usually just go for the chicken and the gravy. I think the gravy stuff's really good. The burgers, I don't know. There's something about it. I think it seems like the burgers come from the same place that the Burger King hamburgers come from, because at least the smaller, like, cheeseburgers and stuff, it kind of gives me the same horrible feeling of, why am I eating this?
Mm-hmm.
But that said, I'm a fan. I find usually in a world where people try to cheat you out of what they're supposed to be giving you, Dairy Queen tends to give you more. Like when you order a Blizzard, like I'll get a Heath Bar Blizzard, and they dump so much of the Heath Bar stuff in it that it becomes, I don't know, unattainable to completely finish it. So I usually find myself saying, give me about a third of the cookie chunks in there. Like, I need this to be a little more vanilla ice cream, a little less candy bar. But that all said, I dig it. I enjoy it. I think it's pretty good, and there's a lot of variety on the menu. So they got a 2 for $3 gimmick. They got a 3 for $5 gimmick. They got the $6 lunch thing. I'm down with that. What I think's odd is how varying the prices are. Like, if you go to the one in LaVale, it is significantly more expensive than the one in Cumberland.
Yeah, I've noticed that.
Yeah.
I like their moo lattes a lot.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. The gravy. Oh, check this shit out. I was up in Somerset, and because the wife and I'll drive up to Somerset to go to Starbucks, because we're white and middle class, and so we'll stop at the Dairy Queen there. And in the mornings from 9 to 12, they have a DQ breakfast bowl. It's hash browns, eggs, onions, and then they pour that gravy with sausage in it, sausage gravy over top of the whole thing. It's like a fucking breakfast trough of gloriousness.
That actually sounds pretty fucking dope.
It's really,
onions.
So what do you rank it at?
I'm gonna give them an A. I feel like I when I go to Dairy Queen, I'm never disappointed, and I can always find something I like, and that's saying something with a lot of these places.
That's definitely fair. All right, next place, Dunkin Donuts. All right, I'm just gonna not beat around the bush here. Dunkin Donuts food is ass.
Yeah.
Fuck
Yes.
Dunkin' Donuts.
Amen.
Yeah, it's always overcooked or burnt or just doesn't taste good.
Yeah.
That being said, if you're going for Dunkin' Donuts, like for a burger or fries, whatever, you're already wrong. Like, obviously, the main attraction is right in the name, the donuts. That being said, the donuts are decent. There's nothing like extravagantly special about them. They're good. The coffee's all right. I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna put Dunkin's at a B. Like I said, the food is awful. But if I'm going to Dunkin's, I'm not going for the food. I'm going to get some coffee and donuts. And as far as that goes, they're all right at what they do as far as that goes. Tate, you go ahead, talk about Dunkin'.
I think it's fucking putrid. I fucking hate them. Their food tastes like shit. Their coffee, like, I've never once gotten an iced coffee flavor because they have very specific flavors. Like, there's like a toasted coconut and blueberry. I've never gotten one that tasted like what they said it was. And I always have to dump a shit ton of sugar or Splenda or whatever in it to make it not taste fucking terrible. I've been to, the one in Somerset's really bad. There's one in Monroeville that's really bad. There's one in Pittsburgh that's really bad. I'm trying to think. The one in Hagerstown, I think, is pretty shitty. Nothing about it. With the donuts, every now and again you'll get a good donut, but I feel like there's so many other places. Like you can go to Krispy Kreme a mile away.
Krispy Kreme is definitely way better as far as donuts is concerned.
I would go so far as to say that your average like Sheetz donuts are better than Dunkin' Donuts, because at least there you get to hand select one. Like the donuts at Martin's are better. I can't give Dunkin' Donuts a big enough thumbs down. Fuck Dunkin' Donuts. Dunkin' Donuts sucks. I'm gonna give it an F.
All right. Wow.
Yeah. I mean, for me, my classification of F is I'm going through a drive-thru with my friends, and there's nothing I'm ordering there. That's them. If I'm in the car with you guys and we go to Dunkin' Donuts, I'm not eating anything.
Blake?
So Tate, like you don't like them? Is that what you're saying?
I'm trying to. I'm sorry. I probably mixed my words a bit.
Anyway, I maybe not as extreme as Tate, but I have to echo what y'all just said, which is you would think that like Dunkin' Donuts would be like on the ball when it came to breakfast sandwiches and stuff.
Nope.
Yeah.
Their sandwiches are butt. Like they're no, but and like that makes them all the more disappointing because of all places, Dunkin' Donuts, like the morning joint should have solid breakfast sandwiches, and they're not. They're not good. But and then their hash browns are like just everything tastes burnt. Everything tastes like burnt, shriveled up ass.
Including the coffee.
No, okay, so here's the thing. Every time I get a coffee at Dunkin' Donuts, I'm always pleased. I'm content. But here's the thing, though. When I get like a cold coffee, like an iced coffee or whatever, it's just a French vanilla. I'm as basic of a bitch as it gets. So I mean, like I either get like a French vanilla cappuccino, latte, ice, whatever, and then when I do get a hot coffee, I literally just get a regular coffee with like 3 creams, 1 sugar. That's it. I don't get anything that experimental or extravagant. I'm kind of straight to the point. You would have to jump through hoops, bent over backwards in order to fuck up what I want. And then I like their donuts. I'm content with their donuts. They're blueberry glazed and they're pumpkin glazed. I like French coolers. Can't go wrong with that. Especially if you don't want to feel too full afterwards, overly full, overly stuffed. I don't know. And then shout out to my favorite Saturday Night Live skit with Casey Affleck. That is my all-time favorite SNL skit with Dunkin' Donuts. But yeah, I'm gonna put them at a cute little B.
All right.
Just for the fact that I'm drink wise and donut wise, I'm always happy.
Yeah, that's fair.
Jake?
I don't have a ton of experience with Dunkin' Donuts. I'm not a coffee drinker, so that big whole pool doesn't get me. Like I'm very much like Blake. If I get something coffee, it's gonna be like a French vanilla cappuccino, and I will get like 1, maybe 2 a year. It just doesn't do it for me. That said, haven't had a whole lot of experience with their donuts either. I remember like being younger and having their donuts and not enjoying them. And since then I've just avoided it. And based on the description of burnt offerings and Tate's wonderful words of wisdom, I'd probably put it at a D, where like if it was in his words, if we were going through a drive-thru, I'd probably be like, sure, I guess I'll try something here again, but I'm not going to be excited about it.
All right.
Might I add, and I don't know about the rest of y'all, a lot of the Dunkin' Donuts I've been to, the staff has been like really fucking rude.
Yeah.
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 Yeah. So they're either really just not happy to be there, or the only ones that were friendly are
If it takes you this long to think of them, none of them were friendly.
No, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know how to say it. Just go on.
Well, I think that one thing about Dunkin' Donuts is the company is 100% franchise. So unlike McDonald's, where there's some like basically home headquartered owned locations, corporate locations, Dunkin' Donuts doesn't have corporate locations. So most of the time when you walk into one, you're talking to either the people that are trying to run it or the people that are put in charge by the people that are local and trying to run it, which lends to the idea that you'd think they'd be nicer.
Mm-hmm.
But I also think that in my experience, a lot of the Dunkin' Donuts I've been to, just traveling up and down the East Coast for wrestling and that kind of thing, a lot of them are of a foreign descent, and I wonder sometimes the cultural differences, the cultural translation.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
No, I wonder if there's some of that that's not quite translating over, or if there's certain I know in general like a lot of times some friends of mine, just for example, that are Middle Eastern, they tend to come from and not to make an unfair generalization, but in this very specific case, they tend to have a very high work ethic. And then you're hiring people in Cumberland that don't want to give a shit about anything they're doing,
Mm-hmm.
and it's almost like they're just, oh, really, this is stupid. Like almost like I'm being forced to work for money to make my wage, and while I don't make as much as I think I should, I'm just going to half-ass this job, and sometimes I think that plays into it.
Yeah, I was going to say the only Dunkin' Donuts I've ever been to where the clientele wasn't like kind of rude, they were Middle Eastern. So if you go into a Dunkin' Donuts and they're white, they're probably a bunch of fucking bitches.
Next place, Firehouse Subs.
My brother. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
My brother just raves about that place. He loves it. Because of him talking to how much he loves it, I'm a big steak sub guy.
Mm-hmm.
And as much as he talked about it, I was in Chesapeake, Virginia, on vacation. I thought, oh, I'll go to this place. I went there, and I wouldn't hit a dog in the ass with it. I thought it was ghetto. They did something that I always hate with a steak sub, and that is they put all the vegetables and the onions and the tomato and the peppers and the lettuce underneath the meat. Then they dump the floating hot meat on it, so it
that's the worst.
gets all wilted and gross. And I'm like, yeah, this sucks. It almost looked like they're trying to sell me a line of ghetto town cheap ass dope, because it's like they rolled out a little plastic baggie, a dime bag of pencil shavings, and put it on there. I never understand that. Like, put some fucking meat on this. Like, Five Guys does that. They give you a big ass hamburger. It's like, good. Put the fucking meat on the bun, or get a smaller fucking bun. Like, why does it always have to look like you're giving me the bare minimum possible? You know? Always have to look like you're.
So what would you rank Firehouse at?
I can't really fairly rank them, other than my one experience, which was in a coastal resort town, which I think maybe you guys would disagree, but in my experience, when you're in a resort town, the fast food tends to suck harder because it's hard to keep people working there.
Mm-hmm.
That said, my one experience there, I'd probably give it a D. It was really expensive, and I didn't finish it.
Okay. I have never eaten at Firehouse, so I'm going to have to pass on this one and bounce it to Blake.
Yeah, I am I don't know. I've been on a Firehouse Subs kick all year. They're one of my current go-tos. I enjoy them. I'm just mainly just a meat and cheese and condiments guy. I don't like. I hate onions. I fucking loathe onions. But no, I'll get like peppers and olives and whatnot. No, I like their steak sub. I think at this point I've tried just about all their subs.
Did they do that? Is that like an isolated incident, or do they put that stuff underneath the meat on your sandwiches?
No, they put it on top. I don't know about this underneath business that happened to you, but no, I mean there's a lot of issues with bottoms and underneaths going on in this episode. So
yeah.
But no, I mean, I'm genuinely sorry that experience happened to you, Mr. Tate.
What are you, the manager of Firehouse?
Well, that's good though to know that like it's something you go to and dig. Where do you get it if it's a go-to place? What's the closest spot?
I mean, I've gotten them in Hagerstown, and no, wait, have I gotten them in Hagerstown? No, I've just gotten them in Frederick. So,
Okay.
but no, I mean, now you're gonna try it next week, and you're gonna want to kick my ass because it's even worse.
Well, the good news, Blake, is whether I love it or hate it, I'll be way too bloated to actually think about trying to kick anybody's ass. I'm too brittle.
Too brittle.
Too peanut brittle.
So yeah, I mean, I enjoy them. I think they're nice. Their sides aren't really anything special. I mean, they have like cups of chili, and I think they have chicken noodle soup. I mean, if you get a large sub, you should be too full for a side, in my theory. And trust me, I'm a guy that I like to eat, and I like to stuff, but oh man. So I'm a little torn here. I want to say it's somewhere. I feel like in the past, like since the quarndemic, as I'll call it, I feel like I've gotten them a little too much, so I'm maybe getting a little burned out on them. And I'm sorry, I know that's unfair, but that does play a factor in it. I want to say it's somewhere between an A and a B, so I'm gonna go with. I'll just go with B. I'll go with a nice, cute little B.
All right, Jake.
I've also never eaten at a Firehouse before. I'm not a big sub person, so we can skip that one for me.
All right. Then we get to move on to the next restaurant, Five Guys. I fucking love Five Guys. It is like probably my favorite place on this entire list that we have tonight. I mean, I don't go there very, very often. I do kind of have to be in a mood for it. But when I go, every time I've gone, I've never had a bad experience. I mean, the burgers are always fucking phenomenal. The fries are always on point. Especially like for the amount they fucking give you and for the price too. I mean, you're gonna pay a little bit more than a typical burger and fries place, but you're gonna get food that's so much better. You get more in quality and quantity. I mean, it's just so fucking good. I mean, Five Guys, it's S rank for me, like easily. I've never had a bad experience, and every time I leave, I know I fucking ate. So that's gonna be my first S rank. Blake.
Yeah, Five Guys is good. Good night. Anyway, no, I felt so bad to Five Guys because like for the longest time, like I said before, every time there was a Five Guys, there was a Chipotle right next to it, and I'm like, well, I'll just go to Chipotle and whatever.
But anyway, I remember one of those times I legit said, fuck this to Chipotle, went next door, grabbed Five Guys, and went back to Chipotle and sat down with you guys with my greasy-ass ghetto grocery bag.
And I remember later that day, we went to, we were either at Ruby Tuesday. No, I think we were at Chili's. And
yeah.
And I got a cheeseburger there, and Michael goes, "Yeah, what happened to you could get a cheeseburger anywhere?" And I go, "Well, yeah, I said I could get a cheeseburger anywhere. This is anywhere." And they all got so pissed that was my answer. And Donnie was like, "Oh, I'd argue with him, but there's almost no fucking point." Like, everyone was so angry at me that I didn't have Five Guys earlier. But anyway. I'm sorry, Mr. Guys. Your product is very good. Your fries are almost second to none. I know. I mean, you go there. It's not just good quality; it's quantity. I mean, you'll be stuffed.
Yeah.
And so yeah, I'm gonna put it. Ironically, I'm gonna put it right next to Chipotle at an A.
My biggest like fat guy moment was the one time I went to a Five Guys and ate a triple with like just about every topping on it, and I also had a large order of fries on top. I ate it all by myself, and I went home and had like a 5-hour disco nap. Jake?
Oh no, going to me next.
Yeah, we're going to you.
I gotta say.
Don't disappoint me, boy.
I'm gonna disappoint the shit out of you because I do not like Five Guys.
Well, you're
Five
never
Guys,
allowed back.
Five Guys can eat my butt.
Enjoy
you would put it.
enjoy your stay at the Donatorium because it's the last time you're allowed.
No, that's fine. I will die on this hill. Really, it has nothing to do. It really has nothing to do with the quality of the food. It has pretty much everything to do with price, and it's the reason why I will refuse to get burgers at fast food places, because I went there, got a burger and fries, and it was like $20 fucking.
It is,
and my mind was
pricey.
fucking blown. On top of that, the one that I went to didn't have their milkshake machine installed, so I couldn't get a milkshake with it.
I have another thought to add when Jake's done, but I just wanted to say that. Go ahead, Jake.
Yeah. But yeah, it's too much, and when I was not expecting the amount of fries I got, and I physically felt bad at how many fries I had to throw away. Because reheated fries never work. They're always awful. They were good fries, but at the same time I was like, this is just fucking ridiculous. I could make all this at home for like half the price and be just
and it would be half as good.
No, I would be more than satisfied than I was at Five Guys, because I wouldn't be wasting the fries because I know how much I'll fucking eat. So that all said, because it is my reason why I don't get burgers anywhere, it gets a D from me.
Oh wow! How does it feel to be fucking wrong?
I mean, I'm not wrong in my own little world.
I will say though, I kind of know what you mean about price wise, because I mean when you go to Five Guys, it's like easily like at least $15, and the thing is that's what I would expect to pay at a place where like there's a waiter involved and I'm gonna leave a tip and they come to my table and serve me there. Like when you go up and you just they ring you up at the register and you sit down and stuff, like I don't expect to pay that much. Like that is like the price of what you would pay for a burger and fries at Ruby Tuesdays and Applebee's and whatnot. Like it's not going to be nearly as good.
Here's my thing though. I totally agree that Five Guys is pricier than like what you would expect from a burger and fries joint. My thing though is you're getting food that is so much better, and you're getting much more of it for like a better quality, and also like they don't charge you for like the toppings on the burger either, which is great.
See that's something else I should add, is that whenever I get burger toppings, I literally just get bacon and cheese. So that becomes a waste to me almost, to like not get a bunch of shit on it, and it just feels pointless at that point to pay that much money for a burger with nothing on it.
Yeah, it's like when you're at an appliance store and they tell you they got free delivery. No, they fucking don't. They put the fucking delivery in the cost of the refrigerator that you bought. It's the same deal with Five Guys. They're charging you for every topping. That way, every topping you get less, every one you get less than all of them, they're making even more money.
Well,
but,
maybe that's true, but here's my counterpoint. Like you're still getting much better burger and fries than you will from like a lot of almost every other place on this list, pretty much. And also, here's my thing, like. What I'll do is if I'm going with like my girlfriend or something, we'll order the large order of fries and just split it, and that'll be enough for the two of us.
That's what my wife and I do.
Yeah,
thanks guys for reminding me that I'm single.
Well, you're welcome.
Yeah, I'll tell you what. The point that Jake made, I 100% agree with. I there's been so many times that I've been there and I feel bad about how many fries I got to throw in the garbage.
Then order a smaller size.
I'm sorry. Is it my fucking turn to talk or no?
Go ahead.
Okay. I mean, you just feel like you've been sucking the Five Guys dick for so long, you might want to come up for some air. Okay. So,
it takes long to get through those Five Guys.
Yeah. Oh, that one was right in front of me and I missed it. All right. Well, anyway, I got to agree with Donnie in the sense that, like, I think that it is really good food. The burger's good. I don't know if any of you guys even know this. My dad's a chef. He was a chef for 20-some years. And so he was always big into making. He wanted to have his own cooking show. He was going to call it Gorge with George.
Oh, that's brilliant.
Like when I was growing up, my friends would come over to the house and stuff. When I was in my teens and early 20s, he'd make everybody like 1 pound burgers, that type of shit, like just crazy stuff. I remember one point he'd make us all a 1 pound burger and then make grilled cheese sandwiches on Texas toast, and each grilled cheese sandwich was the top and bottom of the bun for the 1 pound burger, like just crazy shit. And so when I go to Five Guys, it always kind of reminds me of that, and that's probably why I don't go there more often. Is my old man would make burgers that tasted every bit as good as that.
Mm-hmm.
And so usually when I was going for fast food, it's something that I couldn't get at home, and I was fortunate to get that type of thing at home.
Mm-hmm.
That said, I do, like, when we go on vacation, it's usually the spot where, like, the whole family goes and gets something. I think the burgers are really, really good. I think the fries are good. It's a little bit pricey, and to the point of, like, it's as expensive as if you go and sit down and have a waiter and all that. But also, I think that all those places you go to, like Ruby Tuesday and Applebee's, I don't think their burgers hold a candle to the Five Guys burger.
No.
Personally. The other thing I like is that with Five Guys, unlike almost every other place that makes a hamburger, I feel like the burger to bun ratio is a little better.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I hate the big ass buns with a burger. Even if you got a big burger, if you got a big giant bun that's all about bread, I don't know. I feel like their ratio is a lot better.
Yeah.
That said, the only one that I ever really get near is the one in Hagerstown, and I always opt for the Chipotle over the Five Guys. So as far as a restaurant goes, a burger place, I mean, I give it probably an A or a B, but as far as my personal preference, I'd probably give it a C.
All right, so we're putting it at a C for you.
Yeah, you know what? I'll go a B. I mean, if we're going there, I'm going to eat, and I'm going to enjoy it, and I'm going to feel like I got my money's worth. So I'll give it a B.
Keep it at the C. You'll get kicked out of the donatorium like I am.
Are we shooting for that, or?
Well, that's up to you.
I mean, I gotta say, it's pretty fitting that, like, while we're sitting here talking about greasy ass fast food, my dog just let out like the nastiest fucking fart ever. So maybe you guys want to leave the donatorium for a little bit.
We appreciate that glimpse into your life.
Keep in mind, people who don't know, my dog is 150 pounds. He's a big fucking dog, so when he farts, it fucking reeks.
I was going to say, I don't think I want another animal living in my house that can clog the toilet.
All right. Well, speaking of clogging the toilet, let's move on to the next place, Hardee's. Or as it's known on the West Coast, Carl's Jr. Fuck you, I'm eating. Hardee's. I've only been to Hardee's a couple times, and every time I've been, I mean, the food itself is okay. It's not the worst, but it's nowhere near the best. And every time I've been to a Hardee's, like, the location itself has always been fucking filthy. Like, and like, not even in an obvious way. You just walk in and feel like kind of gross and dirty. Like, the last time I went to Hardee's, I felt like a strong urge to stop by Walmart and grab lice shampoo for some reason.
Wow.
The food is okay, but it's nothing that I'm going to go out of my way for. I'm putting Hardee's at a D.
Wow. I've only been to Hardee's a couple times this month, and I enjoy it. The one that's in Hancock, what I really like about it, and I think the part that a lot of people forget, is their breakfast menu is pretty good. They make their biscuits every morning fresh, like they're baked biscuits, and they got this sandwich, breakfast sandwich. It's called the Meat Lover's Omelet Biscuit. So they make this fucking omelet with ham, sausage, and I want to say kibasi's in it, and bacon, and then they basically fold the omelet up, put it on a biscuit with cheese, and it's fucking awesome. It's only like $2, and I usually need 3 of them to make it count, but I really dig them. Their soda sucks. There's some of those places that just have a soda that doesn't have enough carbonation in it. It always kind of tastes kind of flat, and I think they're notorious for that shit. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I dig the breakfast. They do the hash brown crown similar to the way, like the coin kind of thing, the way Burger King does it. But I don't know. I'd give. It's also, there's never a bite of Hardee's food that I'm taking that I don't feel like I'm damaging my body and shortening my lifespan. So I'm gonna give Hardee's a C.
All right. I haven't had their breakfast. I'll have to try that just to try it. Jake?
So I've only been to Hardee's a few times. I think most of my experiences were my ex wanted a good, delicious Hardee's burger, and I was like, sure, I'll go to Hardee's. They got chicken. I can grab that. Mm-hmm. Other than that, I've heard good things about the breakfast. It's one of those I need to get out of my own way and try at some point. I had a coworker who said every time she'd have to do like an early morning shift, she would always go there and get like the biscuits and gravy as her reward for waking up that early, which is like that's a pretty good sign, I would say. But overall, I'd give it a solid C. It's a place that, I wouldn't personally choose, but if everyone else chose it, I'd be like, right on. I can dig on Hardee's.
Blake?
Yeah, so I'm pretty sure I have never been to a Hardee's or a Carl's Jr., or I've never actually gotten anything in one. For the longest time, my mom wouldn't let me go to one. She didn't want us to go to one because apparently the owner, the president or whatever, is like an asshole or something. But anyway, and then I vaguely remember one time when my dad were going to go inside and see what they had, and then the line was too long, so then we were just like, the hell with this, never mind, and we just went to Sheetz or something instead. But, yeah, so I've never been to Hardee's or Carl's Jr.
All right. Also, Blake, I appreciate your tweet that you just sent out about me wanting Five Guys' number.
Yep.
Next place, Jersey Mike's. This is a place I've never been to, so Blake, go ahead.
I've never been to one either.
Jake, go ahead.
Jersey Mike's. I don't have a whole lot of experience with that one either. I think I've only had their stuff once, and it was a pretty good cheesesteak. It's a place my parents go to like all the time now. Like, I don't know what it was. We moved back to Virginia and they tried Jersey Mike's for the first time, and they were like, "This is where it's at for subs." I swear, it's at least like at this point, it's at least once a month I see Jersey Sub stuff at my house. It's not like a super memorable thing for me, so I'll say a solid C.
Yeah, that's where I'm at. I'm about a C. I've eaten there I've eaten at two different locations in Pittsburgh, probably a half a dozen times, and nothing ever really remarkable or memorable about it. I don't remember feeling specifically ripped off. So, yeah, I don't know. I'm about a C.
All right. Next place, Jimmy John's. Another place I haven't been to. Tate, go ahead.
Jimmy John's, I'm not a big fan. For one thing, the first time I went there, I was under the impression that they had steak subs and like chicken parmesan and things like that for like these subs. They only do cold stuff, like cold cuts. Mm-hmm. So you're literally, it's kind of like a Subway, only maybe 10% better and 40% more expensive. Mm-hmm. And I've been there, I don't know, maybe 3 times, twice out of just being in a situation where there was no other option. And I don't know. I give it a D. If I have to eat there, I will, but I have no intention of trying to go.
All right, Blake?
Yeah, I have never gone to a Jimmy John's before, partly for the reason of I hear their owner is an absolute asshole. Something where, like, he's one... I'm sorry, I know the whole point of this episode isn't for anyone to get political or anything, but apparently, like, he's super anti-union, and he makes you sign a contract where if you ever work there and then quit or get fired or anything, you were not allowed to go work at another sandwich place for like a year or something like that, or else he will seek legal action against you. So, like, yeah, if you work there and then you leave, you can't go to Subway the next month or something, or else he at least threatens. He tries to spook you into like being like, "I'll come after you," which is like, dude, you're gonna waste a lawyer on a fucking minimum wage kid,
right.
Like whatever. I don't know, but anyway,
I wish
sorry.
I had that much free time on my hands.
Yeah, so I'm sorry, didn't mean to get serious for a second, but that is the reason why I've avoided Jimmy John's. He's apparently a dickhead.
Which my girlfriend just messaged me, "Fuck Jimmy John's."
Well, there you go.
Jake,
you hear that, Mr. Johns? You're almost as bad as the other Johns, and that's Papa.
Yeah, my experience with Jimmy John's is similar to Jersey Mike's. It's something my parents get. My dad's always been really big into subs. For me, it's like I don't want to have a cold sub. If I'm getting something sub-like, I want a cheesesteak. And any time that he has like stopped somewhere and like has gotten himself Jimmy John's and gotten me something else, every time I see him open that Jimmy John's, I'm like, that looks disgusting. So based solely on looks and hearsay, I'm giving it an F.
all right. Next place, KFC.
Oh.
Oh man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
KFC.
Can I jump in there?
Yeah, go ahead.
My daughter works at KFC, and growing up, I was a fan of KFC. When I was a kid, like 13 years old, right where the Walgreens is in Cumberland, there used to be a duck pin bowling alley there. It's called Capitol Lanes, and that was my first job. I was 13 years old, and I would set the duck pin. Like, you'd be in the back, you'd sit on this little ledge. These people would bowl, and when they'd knock the pins down, your job was to jump down, push a pedal down, almost like on the pedal on like a garbage can.
Mm-hmm.
You'd push the pedal, and these spikes would shoot up, and then the pins all had holes in the bottom, and you'd basically set all the pins, then jump up and hold your feet up while they bowled. I did that. No shit, I did that for 4 hours a night, filing taxes with the government from the time I was 13, and I did that 4 nights a week. I mean, I was in the 7th grade, and I was making about, at that time, I was making about $75 or $80 a week, which, I mean, $80 to spend when you're in the 7th grade,
Right.
it was a pretty good gig. Well, that was right when the KFC first got put in there on Virginia Avenue, and we would go on our break, we'd go across there, and for $1, they'd give us 2 biscuits, and then and then like this gravy, this chicken gravy they had, and we do that. Does it sound like I'm from the fucking Depression? I'm sitting here like, it's only 40 cents for a biscuit while I set up pins for you to bowl. But anyway, when I was a kid, I thought it was great, and so as I got older, it's definitely greasier. The one in Cumberland is super ghetto, but it has buffet, and if you can't have quality, you at least want quantity. So I would go there and shovel it in until I was secreting chicken grease from every pore and orifice. And now that my daughter works there, I'm exposed to it so much that I've lost all taste for it. I don't eat it at all.
What would you rank it at?
When I was a kid, it was an A. When I was a teenager, it was a B. When I was in my 20s, it was a C. When I was in my 30s, it was a D. And now it's a fucking F.
Similar experience to you, Tate, except I wasn't in the Great Depression. As a kid, I really liked KFC. Like, anytime my mom would come home with that fucking bucket with the Colonel on it, I would lose my fucking mind.
That fucking bucket.
That fucking bucket.
Mom's got Colonel.
Yeah, exactly.
Real quick, I don't know if you know this or not, but the bucket that they put the chicken in,
Mm-hmm.
it has holes in the bottom now, like on the sides.
Mm-hmm.
And the reason that is, a friend of mine told me that they used to fill it with soda. And they called it the woe. And people would take it and fill it with soda and drink from the bucket itself. And so they put these holes in the side so that nobody can do that anymore.
Which is really dumb of them from a marketing standpoint. I feel like they would get a whole lot of new customers if they just started advertising that they do that.
Yeah,
Well,
it's like a drink choice.
Yeah.
My thing was, look, you guys spend all this time punching these holes on the side of the bucket, but you still give me a big fucking plastic bag to carry it in. I use that as the insulator. It's like a fucking pole line. I use that, and then I'm back in business with Pepsi.
Yeah. Like, what they should do is they should market that as an actual menu item and call it the Bloomberg. But like I was saying, similar experience to you, Tate. When I was a kid, I loved KFC. As I got older, I liked it less and less. And now, I haven't been to a KFC in a few years now. The chicken's nothing special.
You just get to a point where you know too much, Yeah.
Yeah, the chicken's nothing special. The mashed potatoes are bland. The gravy's watered down. The mac and cheese is okay. I'm gonna go with an F as well for KFC.
Yeah. When they got rid of baked beans, that was the last ditch effort. I was just like, the last refuge of a scoundrel. What the fuck happened to the baked beans?
Yeah.
We don't do that anymore. Well, and you have nothing from me.
I mean, I think it speaks volumes when you consider the fact that in the final years of his life, Colonel Sanders would travel to different KFCs and flip shit on their horrible quality.
Like a champion.
Yeah, he would just show up unannounced, try the food, and would flip shit over it.
That's like the real American dream. Start your own business, sell it to someone, then tell all those someones that they can go fuck themselves.
Yeah. Blake?
Yeah, so I don't know. Same. 2016, I was on a real KFC kick. 2016 going into 2017. That was also because I was depressed from the election.
I was going to ask you that.
Yeah, yeah. No, this wasn't over my heartbreak or breakup or whatever. This was over the election. I was depressed. So yeah, I was on a KFC kick, and they had like Memphis or Nashville hot and Memphis Sweet and all that. I was.
They were trying to be Buffalo Wild Wings.
Yeah, but anyway, you know what? Like, I have a love-hate relationship with KFC. I'm back and forth. Like, sometimes I get it. I'm like, you know what? Like, it is what it is. And then other times I'm like, oh man, this is how it all ends. But
That's you clutching your heart while you're nearly shitting yourself.
So, and. I don't know. Nobody roasted me over liking KFC more than my mom. I remember there was like one week when, God, my mom's an asshole.
Can we have her on the show sometime?
Oh man,
That would be amazing.
No, the world would be unprepared for it. But anyway. I had like KFC 2 or 3 times in 1 week, and my mom said that if I keep it up, I'm gonna grow titties. And I remember she like gave me like a gag gift of like a sports bra that like
That's priceless.
Blake, where do you think they get the KFC gravy from?
I don't know, but anyway,
They gotta milk it out of you, dude.
So
That's how they get it.
Yes. So for an entire night when I was trying to do homework, my nickname was Chicken Titties.
Wow.
So
Wow.
that's why I shrug it off whenever anybody else tries to roast me, because I'm like, no one will ever roast me as good as my mom. But anyway, you know what? I would have put KFC as like. And I appreciate you, Tate, like elaborating on your ranking of F, for example. You know, like you're going through a drive-thru with your buddies, you're not getting anything personally. That's an F. So my personal like elaboration on C is like I've either not had it enough, I haven't had it in a while, or like I'm just totally indifferent. Like I don't love it, don't dislike it. It's just, you know, I'm neutral on it. But anyway, I would have put KFC at a neutral C, but since Tate reminded me that they got rid of baked beans, like that is a sin. That is a horrible, disgusting crime. I love baked beans, so it gets a D.
Let me ask you this: have any of you guys gone to the one in South Cumberland during the buffet? Have any of you done the buffet?
I have, and let me say, it's been a while, so I don't know if they changed it, but the last time I went, they didn't have mac and cheese. I'm like, how are you gonna have a fucking KFC buffet without mac and cheese?
They don't have mac and cheese on it. It's banana pudding. It's shitty like broccoli cuts. It's coleslaw. There's like some canned peaches. There's let's see, mashed potatoes, some chicken, and then some kind of like chicken pot pie, gruesome thing. There's just something about this idea, though, that you can go through there and eat as many chicken breasts as you want for like $7. And it's like, I love to sit here and rag on it and tell everybody how horrible it is. But I would go to the buffet like as little as 5 years ago. I would hit that buffet like once a week, and sometimes you'd go in and there wouldn't be a single clean table, and so I would just like brush it off myself and still eat there. And I remember thinking, like, how far am I willing to let this go? Like, how low can the standards be and we still come here? And then one time I'm in there eating, no shit, I'm sitting in there eating the buffet, and I look over, and there's like a 6-year-old boy who is peeing in the corner of the restaurant. He's just pissing on the floor. And 3 days later, I went back.
Everything you described sounds like an Eric Andre bit.
If you go to one of the KFCs in the middle of Baltimore, you can place your order from behind bulletproof glass. That's pretty neat.
Well, yeah, it's only slightly less ghetto than going to a Golden Corral. Golden Corral's not on the list, right?
No.
I was at Golden Corral one time, and I'm sitting there eating, and this little boy is mom, a rather large and wide African-American woman, grabs this 7-year-old, drags him off, going, "You're the one that put that broccoli in the marshmallow fountain. Now you're going to eat the motherfucker." Kid had to look at his face like, "Well, it's Wednesday."
Oh, that's great.
My God.
Jake, talk about KFC.
Oh, I have very similar feelings as Tate and you do, Donnie. As a kid, it was fucking great. They had the boneless honey barbecue wings, and that was my shit forever. Like, that was my go-to. Anytime we were getting KFC, it's like, oh, do you want to get a bucket of chicken? I'd be like, no, get me boneless honey barbecue wings, and nothing else will do. And then they got rid of them. And then I was sad and was like, well, I guess I won't have KFC for a while. Then, here and there, had it every now and then. And then KFC started getting weird when they started doing stupid shit like the double down and the one, like the 2 hot dogs in between 2 pieces of fucking chicken, which is just absolutely absurd. And then they went crazy with the kernels and they did the, Crisis on Infinite Kernels DC comic book crossover. My mind has just gone crazy and these people must be stopped. KFC deserves the F that it gets.
Let me just say it was a fucking crime not having DJ Khaled as one of the colonels.
Yeah, that's kind of true. Also, that Nashville hot, I did try that Nashville hot. It tasted fucking awful, too. It was just so bad. Everything about KFC is terrible.
Hey, calm down, Slugger. Anyway.
No.
Remember when RoboCop was the colonel?
No. The last one I saw was Reba.
Oh, I shit you not, RoboCop. I'm linking it to y'all.
Yeah, send that to me, because the last Colonel I saw was Reba, and that's when I went, okay, this has gone too far.
Nope.
It's not even Reba anymore. It's, what's his name? Oh, damn it. I can't remember. The stand-up comedian who had the Hot Pocket bit.
Jim Gaffigan? No, he was way before Reba.
Was he?
Yeah, he was like maybe the 3rd Colonel.
I swear, every time one comes up in the background when I'm watching YouTube, it sounds exactly like him doing them.
Nah, he was way before that.
Oh, well. Maybe I'm crazy.
Next restaurant. Long John Silver's. All right, I'm going to surprise some people with this one. I had not eaten at Long John Silver's in like maybe 15 years, like at least since middle school. And randomly, just one day, a couple months ago, I was like, you know what? Fuck it. There's one right down the road from me. Fuck it. I'm just gonna grab some for lunch. And I was pleasantly surprised by how good it was. I legit enjoyed it, and I've been back a few times since. And I'm not gonna lie, I legit like Long John Silver's, and that's saying something for me because I have like a strict policy about like I usually stay away from drive-through fish because it never ends well. But Long John Silver's is legit. Like I think it's good. And my favorite soda is Dr. Pepper, and Dr. Pepper from Long John Silver's just hits differently. I don't know what it is. It just tastes different. I'm gonna give Long John Silver's the A. Like, it's a little on the greasy side, but like if you're sitting in a drive-through, you're not like making health conscious decisions as it is. Like I'm gonna give it the A. Blake.
But before I go, Tate just disappeared off the call.
Oh, yeah, I see that now.
Yeah.
He just messaged me.
Jesus Christ.
He said, call me again. You guys can't hear me. What the fuck is going on with Facebook tonight?
It hates us.
It looks like every hour I'm somehow being lost.
Yeah, what the fuck's going on with Facebook tonight?
I don't know.
Can you guys hear him?
Probably...
Yep.
Sorry, guys.
Blake, can you hear him?
Yes, I can hear him. Yes, we're good.
Can you hear them, Tate?
I can hear them, and you.
Okay. Well, if you missed it, Tate, I was talking about Long John Silver's, and I said that I legit thoroughly enjoy Long John Silver's. I haven't been there in like 15 years. Randomly went there a couple months ago. Just on a whim, and legit enjoyed it. Been there several times since. I actually enjoyed Long John Silver's, and I also mentioned how like my favorite soda is Dr. Pepper, and a Dr. Pepper from Long John Silver's just hits differently. So I gave Long John Silver's the A.
Yeah, I'm with you. I'm with you 100%. I love Long John Silver's. You got to watch the grease factor. Like, what happens is it's so good that a lot of times I eat too much of it, and then I feel horrible. but that's not their fault.
Yeah, well, it's also like the grease. Like I remember it being way greasier as a kid. Like they've definitely got that under control to some degree. And I also mentioned like, yes, it is on the greasier side, but if you're sitting in a drive-through, you're not worried about health decisions as it is most likely.
Exactly. They but I like they right now they got the 2 for $6 where you get either 2 pieces of fish, 3 pieces of chicken, 6 shrimp, or a crab cake, and you basically pick any combo of 2 of those things, and it's $6. But I'm all about it, man. Their tartar sauce is really good. Their cocktail sauce is good. Hush puppies are good. My only complaint would be that if you get corn as a side order, they put it in a fucking condiment cup, like something you'd expect to get mayonnaise or ketchup in, and that's the serving. But yeah, other than that, I'm a big fan. I think their butterfly shrimp is really good, and the fish is always good, and I think their chicken planks, like their chicken fingers or chicken strips, I like them more than any other chicken strip at any other place.
They are good.
Yeah.
I mean, the hush puppies are good too. They definitely, they give you the legit hush puppies. They don't give you the off-brand shush mutts or anything like that. Blake, talk about Long John Silver's, and please tell us what your pop's opinion was of them.
So first of all, Tate, I don't know what the fuck you're talking about, because whenever I get corn, they scoop that shit on my platter, so they must hate you.
Well, I'm usually at a drive-through because I'm not walking in to sit down.
Oh, okay. Well, no. Part of the magic with Phil and I, my dad, is you gotta go into that place and sit down at Long John's. But
gotta
anyway,
ring that bell on your way out.
Oh yeah, we always ding the bell on our way out. But anyway, yeah, my
I
dad.
tried to steal that bell when I was in the 11th grade.
What did you say? What did you say?
I said I tried to steal that bell when I was in the 11th grade, but they got it nailed in there pretty solid.
That's good. That's good. But yeah. So no, if my dad was on this episode, he would literally put Roy Rogers and Long John Silver's at an S, and everything else would be at a D. But anyway, no, I think Long John Silver's is slept on big time. So slept on. And it's amazing though. It's like I don't know how they stay in business because there is never one that's busy. There is literally a secret society of people that keep that joint in business, and it looks like I am with fellow members of the Illuminati right now.
Yee, represent.
But anyway, no, Long John Silver's, I think it's slept on. I enjoy it. So anyway, my family's opinion, other than my dad likes Long John Silver's. My family's opinion is it doesn't matter what you get there, it all tastes the same. Whether you get chicken, whether you get fish, motherfucking shit all tastes the same. And my pop to this day, well, I'm sorry, my late grandfather, that is what I called my mom's dad, Pop. He, to his last day, was saying that was the worst. That was the worst Good Friday he ever had. He and his sons all had this saying of tastes like chicken, tastes like fish, and I remember one day I was talking with him and he was like, "Oh yeah, it's just it all tastes the same. Doesn't matter what you get. Tastes like fish." He goes, "What are those little ball shits they have there?" And I go, "Oh, you mean hush puppies?" And he goes, "Oh Christ, they're terrible." But yeah, no. I mean, I'm gonna let you all know right now. Long John Silver's and Roy's would be at an S. Everything else would be at a D or F if that was my dad on the call. My pop, he would probably put Long John Silver's at an F. Me, I'm gonna put it at a. You know what? I'm gonna put it at a B. I think it deserves a little more positive publicity.
Yeah. Jake?
So, I have a lot of fond memories of Long John Silver's. It was the one place that, if I got to choose where to go, like specifically me, if it was just me, no other family, and mom and dad are taking me, or like aunt and uncle's taking me, I'm like, you take me to Long John Silver's, and we get that chicken and those hush puppies, and I will have the best day ever. And they all hated me for it because I didn't know this until like the past few years after we moved to Colorado and we didn't have one. And one day I was like, man, I could really go for Long John Silver's. My mom looked at me and she was like, You are fucking crazy. Every time any one of us took you to Long John Silver's, we would hate it so much because it would give us the shits for hours. And immediately I was like, oh, that's terrible. I'm sorry that I put everyone through that. So then moved back to Virginia, and now the Long John Silver's in Harrisonburg closed. Then I moved a county over, and there's a Long John Silver's literally 5 minutes from my house. And this whole time I've been like, I don't know if I want to go. I'm kind of scared that I'm going to shit myself if I go to Long John Silver's. But then I got invited to be on this podcast and review food, review all the fast food that I've had throughout my life. And I think it was on Friday, I went by there around lunchtime, and the lady at the box said, sorry, we ain't open yet. We ain't going to be open till about noon. And I was like, son of a bitch. So I went somewhere else. And then Sunday after work, I stopped in, went through the drive-thru, got 2 chicken planks and some fries and a hush puppy, and like, oh, it hit just the same as it always did. My only complaint about that order is there wasn't enough crispy bullshit in the bottom of my box to eat afterwards, which is one of the best things about them. Those little crispy bits that they're just like, we'll just empty out the rest of this bag into the fryer and fry them up for you. Here you go. Nothing but artery clogging goodness. So I would say due a lot in part to my wonderful experiences there as a child. It is getting an S rank from me.
No, see, I gotta say real quick with Long John Silver's, it's like the bizarro version of KFC for me. Because when I was a little kid, I hated it. I grew to appreciate it the older I got, and I think part of it was because, like in the late '80s, early '90s, they tried to do this thing where they give you these shitty Happy Meal-esque toys, but there's always some fucking lame-ass book or something with some public domain fable or story or some shitty puzzle. I'm like, get this the fuck out of my face.
Yeah, I remember getting a couple of those in like the early 2000s as well.
Yeah. All right, next place, the godfather of fast food, McDonald's.
Oh.
I'm gonna give you a burger you can't refuse.
I have not eaten at McDonald's in over a decade. So to prepare myself for this, I was like, let's see if my opinion on McDonald's has changed since the last time I had it. I went to McDonald's a couple days ago and got a Big Mac for the first time in 10 years. And it all tasted exactly the way I remember it, and I do not mean that in a good way. First off, just ordering from the drive-thru was a fucking nightmare to begin with. And I don't mean that because it was busy. I mean that because they have in the drive-thrus at most McDonald's now, they have 2 speakers. And I pulled up to the first one, and it kept saying over and over, move to the next order point, basically the next speaker. I did that, and it was like a solid 2 minutes before somebody came on. And the whole time I'm hearing the other speaker right behind me move to the next order point over and over again. I almost got sensory overload. And it's just like, McDonald's is like the king of having employees who are shitty at their job or employees who don't give a shit. I mean, as for the food itself, the fries were the fries were just they were overloaded with salt, and I feel like the salt was just there to mask how fucking shittily they were made. The Big Mac itself was not that great. I mean, McDonald's is just a straight up F for me. I had it for the first time in 10 years, immediately remembered why I haven't eaten there in 10 years. It is so overrated. It's not that good. The employees are always in a pissy mood. And that ends up affecting the quality of the food, I feel like. There is nothing redeemable about McDonald's in my opinion. Blake, go ahead.
Is somebody playing something in the background? Because I'm getting some feedback.
No.
All right. Anyway, with McDonald's, McDonald's after 10:30 a.m., I would not feed to a wild animal. I can't stand their lunch and dinner food, their main menu. Can't stand it. Their fries, I mean, I almost said super bad, but anyway, Super Size Me said it all, where it's like, that shit should not be in your body for that long and not break down. No, I just think it's terrible. I think McDonald's is one of the most overrated things on planet Earth. When I think of the textbook definition of overrated, I think of McDonald's, and I think of well, I'm not going to say the other stuff I'm thinking of because it's like I don't want to be screamed at for being a hipster. But anyway, no, I can't stand the primary menu of McDonald's. I think it tastes terrible. I can't stand it. The meme of the McRib, that stuff tastes like a tennis shoe sole with barbecue sauce on it. Anyway,
Shaking my head right now. I'm shaking my head right now.
Well, get ready to shake your ass too, because I'm about to beat myself in your eyes. McDonald's before 10:30 is solid. I like their breakfast menu. Their hotcakes and sausage, their McGriddles. I think it's almost like it's from a completely different joint. But no, I tolerate. I not only tolerate, I enjoy their breakfast menu and their coffees. I like their iced coffee, their cappuccinos, their lattes. I think it's solid. I wish you could split this into two different logos, Donnie, because once again, it really is like two different restaurants here. I would put McDonald's breakfast at a B, but I'm gonna go with their, what they are for most of the day if I have to. And as far as like the main,
keep in mind they have breakfast all day now.
no, not anymore during the pandemic. They stopped that.
Oh.
But anyway, no, I just, so yeah, I put their breakfast at a B, but then I put the rest of them at an F. McDonald's, the McDonald's that everybody thinks of right away, after 10:30, after 11 o'clock, whenever it is, they are an F. So
I remember being a kid and like on the rare moments when my mom would come home with like McDonald's breakfast for all of us, it was like, fuck yeah, McDonald's breakfast. And I remember like years later when I was an adult, I remember there was one day, this is back when you and I were both working at the mall, Blake, and you gave me a ride to work because we both had to open that morning at our jobs. And we got there a little early and we were both hungry and we were like talking about that, like the McDonald's breakfast. We were like, let's go to McDonald's, get some breakfast. And I was like, fuck yeah, I haven't had that in forever. I remember we stood in the McDonald's in Walmart and just looked at the breakfast menu and just like looked at each other and both just kind of went, never mind.
Yeah, I don't know what came over me that day. I guess it was just like nothing was convenient enough. Like I didn't want their McGriddle, and then in order to have their hotcakes and sausage, you have to like really sit down and like go at it with the fork and knife, I guess. But yeah, I definitely wasn't feeling it that morning.
Jake, tell us why you're disappointed in us.
I'm disappointed in y'all because I am one of these weirdos who actually likes the McRib. For realsies.
You're gonna sit here and talk up the McRib and put Five Guys at a D.
I'm not gonna talk up the McRib, but I'm gonna say I like the McRib. I wouldn't like, if I had the option between like, I don't know, the McRib and anything else on the menu, I'd probably go for the McRib. But if I had my options between McDonald's and anything that I've listed a B and up, I would probably go there, unless it was more convenient to go to McDonald's. Big thing with McDonald's is, yes, the breakfast definitely elevates it up a good amount, especially, a McGriddle. A McGriddle cannot be beat. It's nice, thick, pancakey buns are just wonderful with a little bit of syrup pockets in them. Other than that, chicken nuggets from there are like classic chicken nuggets to me. They have a special place within my heart and soul. Chicken selects are awesome whenever they have chicken selects, but that's a very rare occasion now. I would say that if you would have asked me this when I was still in Colorado, I would put McDonald's at an F, because where I lived in Colorado was about, I think it was like the elevation was 7,000 feet, 700 feet. I don't remember. It's one of those things where you're pretty far up there, so everything tastes a little different, and McDonald's tasted way different. Once I moved back here, there was a solid like 5 months where I didn't have McDonald's. I ate everywhere else because McDonald's was the only place in Colorado I could go for fast food. And when I finally got to McDonald's, I was like, this tastes like how I remember it tasting, not how it tasted in Colorado. That all said, McDonald's for me is gonna hit a C. mostly because of convenience sake. You can always find one. You always know how it's going to taste. Like the fries to me aren't the worst ever, but they're not great. Like, every now and then if you get them super fresh and they have that little bit of crisp to them, they're like they hit just right. But overall, it's like I grab McDonald's when I'm like, I just need it now. Like I don't need to like go somewhere and think about which place. Like McDonald's, you're here, come, bring me food, shovel it into my stupid mouth. And that's how it'll be forever.
I love the running thing about how like apparently McDonald's food doesn't like break down properly or at all. I think it has the opposite problem. I think it breaks down too fucking quickly because you got to eat that shit like almost immediately. You can't like let that sit for like an hour or two and come back to it.
Yeah. On the other side, I've had like I've gotten a 20-piece before and ate like half of it and then ate the other half cold like a few hours later, and it's like, it's not bad. But I was also doing that a lot in Colorado, and connect the dots on that of why it tasted good.
Tate, what do you guys say about McDonald's?
I have not been to McDonald's in almost 4 hours. I love McDonald's. I think it's great. I mean, it's horrible, and like the McRib, you can sometimes you can get away with not if they put enough sauce on it, you don't even taste the horribleness. But what I do love about McDonald's is
Dude, I had to mute on that because I immediately started coughing from laughing too hard.
No, it's I dig it. I probably hit McDonald's, I'm gonna say 4 times a week for something. That's the truth. Let me just get it out, you judgmental motherfuckers.
Hey, I said judgment encouraged.
My wife is in bed. It's 11 o'clock, and I'm on the phone with you fucks. So maybe you can give me just a minute.
He's got to talk about his other true love, McDonald's.
No, for real. I'm all about McDonald's, and here's why. There's some life hacks that it comes to McDonald's that you just got to understand. A lot of times, I think that it depends on which McDonald's you are at, and because there's so many of them, you can definitely get a cleaner. What should I say? A more focused group. You can get a little bit more of an accurate polling done when it comes to the McDonald's. Like, Donnie, I'm going to call you out right now. You can't fucking sit there and tell me that you haven't eaten McDonald's in 10 years and then say that everybody that works there is always pissed off. There's no fucking way you can know that if you haven't been there for 10 years.
I said I haven't eaten there. I have been there when other people have gone there.
All right. Well, okay, fair enough. That said, here's the order of McDonald's in terms of the ones that I can hit that in the quality level, okay?
I know which one's going to be on the bottom.
Probably do. Number 1, Industrial Boulevard McDonald's. That's the best one. Number 2, the Deep Creek Lake McDonald's. Number 3, the Bel Air McDonald's. Number 4, the Frostburg McDonald's. Number 5, and this is a kind of a catch-all, the number 5 McDonald's is the Queen City Drive McDonald's, the one that most people consider super ghetto. That is number 5. Yeah. The 6th McDonald's is the one in Walmart, and the 7th most shittiest McDonald's in our area is the one in LaVale. It's consistently fucking horrible.
That's the one I got.
I try to avoid it at all costs. At a McDonald's, they're allowed to have those burgers sitting in that little bin. They're allowed to have those sit there for up to 25 minutes before they have to throw them out and do it again. And from people that I've known that have worked at the one in LaVale as little as 3 months ago, they let that shit sit up there for an hour. And if they're willing to admit it as an hour, it's probably longer than that. And you can pretty much count on it being terrible every single time. One of the life hacks I've got on the McDonald's burgers, if you get the McDouble, I'll get 2 of those for $3. I throw away the bun. I put all 4 burgers on a bun. You wrap it back up, and then you crush it. Like, if you ever saw Superman 3, remember when he crushed that coal and turned it into a diamond for Lana Lang and Lois? You just crush the shit out of it. What happens is you pull all of the artificial additives and carcinogens and preservatives and grease molecules. They all feed into the bun. once they do that, it basically makes it all one homogeneous thing that has the same consistency from bun to cheese to burger to toppings. And I'm serious. Just try it. Crush it in. Eat it. It has the density of a collapsed star. It's fucking awesome. It's $3, and you have a quad burger, and I challenge anybody to say that there isn't one better. The other life hack I do when it comes to McDonald's, you tell them straight up, I want mayonnaise on my burger. What it means is they can't give you any of those ones they've already got kind of ready to rock and roll. They got to do it. When I order fries, I want my fries without salt on them. They have to make them special. It's little things like that you kind of got to jump through the hoops of. The fact of the matter is McDonald's, the bar's set incredibly low anyway. You're getting meat for $1. Like, you know what I mean? Like, to me, you're getting exactly what you expect, and they are more consistent in giving me what I expect than 90% of the places that have a drive-thru. Because if I go to Wendy's, sometimes it's good and sometimes it's fucking horrible. With McDonald's, it's always kind of so-so. It's not great. Like, I like their hot fudge sundae, although the fudge is neither hot nor fudge. It's still on level one. The apple pie is more like some type of hollowed out stromboli from the upside down. It's almost like it just got like left with like the lacquer of apple seasoning on the inside. There's no actual apples, so I simply don't order it. The McFlurry is a blatant ripoff of the Blizzard, but I mean, it is what it is, and you know what it's going to be. And the filet of fish sandwich, I could eat 1,000 of those right now. That's where I'm at on the McDonald's. So as far as, again, going under that idea that if I'm going through the drive-thru, is there something I'm going to order? Fuck yeah, there's something I'm going to order. I give McDonald's a B.
I gotta say, I'm very surprised by your ranking of the local McDonald's. I legit thought the one in the Queen City McDonald's was going to be bottom.
Well, and you're right to think that, because for the most part it should be, because it's pretty fucking gross.
Yeah, like, I would not pick up a prostitute from that McDonald's.
Well, I've had a salad there. Like, forget about somebody like cooking the food where you know the germs are at least hopefully burn off from the overall heat. No, I have motherfuckers mixing my vegetables into a bowl.
Tate, everything you have said over the last 5 minutes has made my chest hurt so fucking bad.
From envy, or
no? You're talking about smashing a quad burger into one and stuff. Like, don't you want to see grandkids?
Here's the thing, man. As I built up this immunity over a long period of time, when back in the, I'm going to say around 97, 98, 99, when I don't know when you guys follow wrestling, but back when wrestling, there was a pay-per-view every weekend because it was WWF, WCW, ECW.
Monday Night Wars.
Yeah, all that shit. My cousin had one of those black boxes that let you pick up all the pay-per-views for free. So literally every Sunday, we were going to his house. Well, we'd stop at the McDonald's on Industrial Boulevard, and in 1997, they had a special every Sunday from 6 p.m. till 10 p.m. You could get hamburgers for 29 cents or cheeseburgers for 39 cents. And my brother and I would go over there, and we would buy 60 cheeseburgers. Jesus and then over the course of 2 hours, he and I would each eat like 30 burgers. So I'm kind of like I'm no longer in my prime. I'm kind of retiring. So now usually I feel like if I get 2 McDoubles and stack them into a quad burger, I don't know, I'd be dumb not to do that, because I don't really need the bun. I just need the burger.
You're not quite the WWE champion. You're like Intercontinental champion at this point.
I'm the bratwurst champion. No, but I mean, you go in there and you get the McDouble and you tell them you want lettuce on it and you want the mac sauce and hold the ketchup and hold the mustard, and you basically got what I call the South Cumberland Big Mac. It costs you $1.40 instead of $5.99. You don't need that little middle piece of bread anyway. There's a lot of things you can do with the McDonald's menu. As far as the breakfast goes, it was a cold day, a dark day in July of 2004 whenever they stopped making the Spanish omelet bagel. That was my favorite. But yeah, no, I dig it. I'm a fan, and I won't apologize for it. Damn it.
All right, next place, Moe's. I'm just gonna say it. Moe's is just ghetto Chipotle. I mean, they have some pretty good queso, but that's about the only thing from there that I'm like, yeah, that's really good. Everything else, it's just like it's definitely at least a step below Chipotle. I'm putting Moe's at a D.
Never been there.
Blake, what do you guys say about it?
So yeah, I like Moe's queso, and also the one thing it has over Chipotle is that you can get black olives there, and I love black olives.
I fucking hate black olives.
Oh, fuck you.
Oh,
anyway,
fuck
you. No black olives in the donatorial.
Can't you guys see that this Moe's debate is tearing us apart?
2 Christmases.
So yeah, I mean, Moe's, but yeah, I mean, like, Chipotle is indeed, like, the real deal. But Moe's, I mean, I'll eat there, and I'll get a good sweat out of it. I mean, it's yeah. I mean,
it's like the GoBots.
It is the Mega Blocks to Chipotle's Legos.
It makes my bun sweat. But anyway, yeah, I'll put it at a B. Put it at a B.
Jake?
So I had to do research on this because I was like, oh, I'm pretty sure I've eaten at Moe's before, but the Moe's that I ate at was actually a local
place from The Simpsons.
No, it wasn't, unfortunately. It was a local barbecue place in Colorado, so definitely not the same Moe's. That Moe's was all right, not the greatest, but Mexican Moe's I've never been to.
Mm-hmm. All right, then let's move on to the next place, Noodles and Company. I fucking hate this place.
Oh, jeez.
It is, in my opinion, so fucking pretentious. Like, they try to act like they're offering this, like, cool, hip new thing, and it's like, the food itself is okay. It's not awful, but, like, for the price and the amount you get, like, I will eat there and be hungry again 20 minutes later. Like, I just walk in and I immediately feel like I'm being judged just by the atmosphere there. I'm putting Noodles and Company at a D. Like, for the price, for the portion, and for what you're getting, it's not worth it, in my opinion. Blake?
Yeah.
Well, I always knew you were uncultured. Anyway,
All right, fuck you, McMummy.
This is coming from the only guy who doesn't have an S rank yet.
Who, me?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
You're. I hope you're all tickled when you see the only thing that made it to S rank.
Oh, no,
God.
I can't wait.
But anyway, Noodles and Company. I can't completely disagree, Donnie. It is more a lunch place, not a dinner place. It's not. It shouldn't be your final meal of the day because you will be hungry by midnight.
Yeah.
But no, I mean, I think it is a nice premium quick service establishment. Yeah, I want to put it next to Chipotle and Five Guys at rank A. I'm a big fan of their gluten-free option with the rice noodles. Their pesto is great. Their different mac and cheeses are great, and yeah, especially their Asian section. No, I like Noodles and Company. I dig it.
All right. Jake?
I've never liked noodles, so I've never been to Noodles and Company.
Tate?
I've been there twice. I wasn't particularly impressed, and it was pricey. For me, I didn't dig it. I didn't think it was particularly bad. It just wasn't my jam.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess I'd leave it at a C. Take it or leave it.
It is pricey. It is pricey. Yeah. I'll give it that.
All right. Next place, Panda Express. This is the Sbarro of Chinese places. It's not bad. It's not great. It's very much what you see is what you get. Like you know what you're getting into when you go to a Panda Express. I'm gonna put it at a C. Like, I love Chinese food, but like Panda Express is definitely like that's a place if I go to if I really want Chinese food, and it just happens to be the closest thing. Tate.
It's where I go if I haven't been able to use a toilet for 3 days and really need to remove the cork.
Tate turns himself into a wine bottle.
Yeah. It gets a C.
Let's see. Blake.
Yeah, so my first memory of Panda Express is whenever my mom and dad and I would be visiting my sister in Baltimore, we would go to the mall, and mom and I would either go to like Chick-fil-A or Taco Bell or whatever, and dad would go to Panda Express, and he would expel stuff from his ass that made it smell like there was a dying panda caught up in his colon. It smelled terrible. It is probably that alone is probably the reason why I never had a younger sibling. There was no way my mom was going to get anywhere near that shit. So anyway, thanks for so I guess thanks, Dad. Thanks for ensuring that I would still be the baby of the family. But anyway, as far as Panda Express itself goes, that is actually one of my wife's other favorite places to go to. She's never gone with my dad, and that's probably why it hasn't been altered. But anyway, no, it's enjoyable. I mean, you have to know what you're getting yourself into, you know?
Yeah.
I mean, don't go for an authentic experience. I mean, when people be like, "Oh, Chipotle isn't real Mexican food," I'd be like, "Okay, listen, we're not talking about Panda Express with Chinese food. Calm down." No, it is. And especially like when people are like, "Oh, Olive Garden isn't real Italian food." Like, okay, once again, like,
no shit.
don't go into Panda Express thinking you're having a real taste of the Orient.
Hey, Blake, I gotta say though, I think that there's a big difference there in the sense that Panda Express isn't pretending to be anything other than what it is, and that is like a fast food knockoff version of Chinese cuisine, whereas Olive Garden's really trying to sell poor people and dumb people that they're getting an authentic Italian experience. Like they really are trying to fool you. Like with the waiters walking over holding bottles of wine, they got a fucking Arbor Mist and some hose water.
Hey, no, Tate, amen. Olive Garden is Scientology for hillbillies.
That's good.
No, I mean, Olive Garden is probably one of the most pretentious places ever. I mean, do I enjoy it? Am I satisfied with what I get taste-wise? Like, I'm not going to lie, I like the taste of what I get, but, like, yeah, I understand. I'm not, like, I'm not at the table with Michael Corleone or anything. But no, Panda Express it's very fucking honest. It is very much from the world of Idiocracy. Yeah. But
Hey, Blake.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry.
No, go ahead.
When I don't know, probably 6, 7, or 8 years ago, I was at Olive Garden with my whole family, and my dad was there, and they brought him the plate of like this pasta, and he took a bite of it. He looked at the waiter, and he said, "The hell did you guys run out? Did the A&P run out of SpaghettiOs?" Like, wow.
Oh god. Shit. Anyway, I have to actually rank this shit. I'll put it at a C. I don't dislike it by its own merit, to its own credit. I enjoy it whenever I guess I kind of settle for it as a last minute like we'll just get this. But Dad, if you're listening, I can still smell you from Baltimore.
Jake?
Well, Panda Express is one of those things. You see it in the mall occasionally, but it's sandwiched between like a McDonald's and a Chick-fil-A, and I'm always like, I will take either one of those. If I want Chinese food, I'm going to go to the dirty, buffet down the street and not give a shit that they have black mold growing in the bathroom. It's going to taste the same no matter what. So, you know, the Panda Express, I've never bothered with. It would be an F for me because I'm just like, who cares?
Hey, Donnie, there's something else about Panda Express, though. Because it's like a chain, there's something to be said for having a little bit of oversight. Just a little bit of like rules and regulations and consequences. I worked in Morgantown, and I remember going to this Chinese buffet that was really, really good in the Mountaineer Mall, which is now defunct. And I went there and probably ate 4 or 5 times a week. And it was $5, included the drink, all you could eat on the buffet. Really, really good. And then one day I come into to work, and I get there, and the security guy said, "Yeah, they closed down the Chinese place." I'm like, "Why?" He goes, "Take a look at the monitor." And I'm looking at the monitor, and in the parking lot, there's a deer, and 5 Chinamen run out of the restaurant at midnight and stab this deer to death and drag its carcass into the restaurant.
Oh my God.
That's metal as fuck.
It was fucked up. And I mean, they opened again 2 weeks later, and the food was still pretty good, but it just didn't. There's something about it. It left this weird twang in my mouth. I don't know, chalky, like I drank too many Slim Fasts or something.
Look, if you lived in Pennsylvania, you'd just expect that from a Chinese buffet. It's all gonna be deer. They don't have anything else to do in Pennsylvania but shoot things.
That's true. I mean, I guess it was just the bloody stabbing of an animal in a parking lot.
Yeah.
And what else had they stabbed?
Right. It looked at a cow once.
So did that human I had there.
Next place, Panera Bread. This is another place I fucking hate. It is literally just pretentious, like Subway. It's just like, ooh, we have soup and sandwiches. It's like, fuck off. Who cares? It's not that great, especially for the price. It's an F for me. Like, it's so hipster. It's so pretentious. It tries to act like it's something more than what it is, and I don't like it. So it's an F for me.
I'm like Donnie. I don't really dislike it because it apparently has a philosophy, but I just don't care for the food. It feels like it's a lead safe in my gut when I eat it there, and it gets an F for me too. Like if everybody's going there, I'm not getting anything.
Yeah. What do you guys say, Blake?
15 years ago, if you would have asked me, and I know I keep coming back to that, statement or scenario, but 15 years ago, if you would have asked me, I would have had Panera Bread at like an A or maybe even an S. I mean, I loved it. It was one of my favorite things to do when my mom and I would visit my sister in Virginia. I don't know. It was good. It was simple, sweet to the point. I didn't feel bad after I ate it. It felt healthy. But lately they just, I don't know, they just don't do it for me as much. And also, like, their chicken noodle soup isn't as good anymore. It has diced onions in it. Like, what the fuck is that? I hate onions so much. Have I mentioned that yet?
Yeah. About 8 times.
Yeah, about 8 times. But anyway, Panera Bread, like, I just don't love them as much as I used to, but I also haven't bothered with them as much over the last several years. I think I've maybe only been there like once this year. I think I only go there like once a year. So I'm gonna put them at a C. I'm gonna banish them to the phantom zone until I give them more of a research try.
All right, Jake.
Honestly, like, if I want a sandwich, I'll just slap some shit together at home.
Yeah.
Between that and like what Donnie was saying about like how people it's very hipster and people are very pretentious about it. I've just been like, I don't ever need to go into a Panera Bread. Like, fuck that place. I'm gonna go in there. I'm gonna look at the people there and be like, oh, I shouldn't be here. I might just go crazy on somebody just for looking at me weird, thinking they're better than me because they eat at Panera Bread. So it's off my radar.
Okay, but what do you rank it?
No, I guess an F. I'll go with an F just to follow the crowd here.
All right. Next place, Popeyes.
Oh God.
Now, like Blake, I also have a Popeyes story, and it's funny because it actually didn't involve me. Popeyes is like one of my girlfriend's favorite places for fast food, and she went there like several months ago with her roommate to get the chicken sandwich. Like this was shortly after the chicken sandwich came out, and it was still like a big fucking deal. And they went and they both got a chicken sandwich. And they ate it, and like her roommate went to her boyfriend's house like 2 blocks away for the evening. And it simultaneously hit them. Like they're both texting each other back and forth about like how they are like trying to not even cough or laugh out of fear that they will shit themselves if they do. And it's like she's texting me while it's going on, and I'm just laughing my ass off about the whole thing. It was just hilarious to me. And she was just like, Popeyes betrayed me. I'm never going back. And literally like 2 weeks later, I'm like, you want Popeyes? And she was like, yes. Me personally, I like Popeyes. It's good. The chicken's great. The fries are great. That chicken sandwich was way overhyped. I mean, it was good, but it's not worth waiting in line for a fucking hour for. Tate, I remember that one time me, and our good friend Mr. Z went to an open mic in Hagerstown, and that Popeyes had the audacity to like lie to us and say they were out of the chicken sandwich.
I almost burned the whole fucking building down.
Oh my God, you did, and I like almost cheered you on in that decision. Like such a blatant lie, but
all due respect to your girlfriend and her friend, but those two hoes need to sack up because I put away 4 of them last week. And,
no, they totally have the constitution of like a 6-year-old lupus patient. It's awful. Me, I'm gonna put Popeyes at an A. I'm gonna give them a solid A. Like I've never had a bad experience there. It's not a place I go to very often. It's not a place I crave very often, but when I have it, I have a good time. Tate, you go ahead.
all right, well, the chicken sandwich is the saving grace for them as far as I'm concerned with the whole Popeyes thing. Like that chicken sandwich is really good, and I'll eat 3 or 4 of them, and then eat 2 more when I get home. But my thing is that everything else about it is a buzzkill. Like the service is never good. The people are never nice. The line is always long. It always takes them forever to make it. They tend to forget shit. They don't, little things like when you order like the rice, the dirty rice, they don't fill the container to the top. And it's like, it doesn't seem like a big deal, but when you're going to charge $3.79 for a side, and there's like it's an inch and a half from reaching the top, that's literally like a third of the serving because those cups get wider as they go up. So when you're missing the top inch and a half of the serving, it's like, okay, what the fuck am I paying for here? I wouldn't stop. If it wasn't for their chicken sandwich, I don't stop there for anything else they do. So as long as the chicken sandwich is there, they get a B. When they stop doing that chicken sandwich or they raise the price from $3.99 to anything else, they get a D.
So are you putting them at a B for now?
Yeah, get back to me when they stop the chicken sandwich.
Okay. Jake?
So, first time that I had Popeyes, it was wonderful. It was like, it was new, it was exciting, and I would have said it was a B at the time. Then they came out with their chicken sandwich, and there was a solid like 3 months where on my lunch break I couldn't go to Popeyes because it would always be like backed up the whole drive-through and like around the corner. So that then bumped it down to a C. Then finally, all the chicken sandwich bullshit cooled down for a while, and I could go to Popeyes. And when I went there, they fucked my order up beyond belief, and I have not been back, and it's sitting solid at a D from now on.
Oh, wow.
Until it's one Popeyes. Like I've only been to the one Popeyes, so it's literally a bad experience from just that.
Mm-hmm.
It could go either direction depending on what Popeyes I go to next, but it won't be of my own volition if I do.
We'll drag you kicking and screaming.
I would much rather be like, is there a Bojangles next door? Take me to fucking Bojangles, because fuck that Popeyes shit if there's a Bojangles next door.
All right, I saved the best for last for this one. Blake, go ahead.
All right, so once upon a time, Christmas Eve 2007, My sister was making some green hippie salad pasta bullshit, and I was like, Mom, I'm not eating that. And my mom goes, you little shit. All right, get your coat on. I'll take you somewhere. So she takes me down the road, and I'm like, you know what? I want some Popeye's fries. And keep in mind, I probably aggravated or agitated, whatever the word is, this scenario, because it had like 5 or 6 or 7 or 8 or 9 different oatmeal cookies that were probably a month old. But anyway, I was like, you know what? I want some fries, and I just want some thighs. And fries and thighs. So I go in there, and it's my turn. I go up and I say, I'll have a 3-piece with fries, please. The guy in the kitchen, because it's all open, the guy in the kitchen looks up, gives me the dirtiest fucking look ever. Like, I don't know what I said. Well, I know what I said. I don't know how I said it, but it must have been really offensive to him, because he did not fucking like me in that moment. So something didn't sit right, but I'm like, you know what? I'm 17 years old and I'm hungry. And
fuck you, I'm eating.
So I take that box home, and I just walk in. I look at my sister, my dad, my brother-in-law eating whatever green shit, and I just take a bite of my biscuit and go all about my way. And so then it's Christmas Eve Mass that night, and I go there, and I'm sitting down, and the last thing I remember is my sister asking something about if her DVD copy of Austin Powers and Goldmember was stolen or something, and I'm like, I don't know. And so all of a sudden during the rosary, I start getting like really hot bubbles in my midsection. And so bad, I thought my male private area was going to fall off. But it's burning really bad, and it's twisting. I mean, it's something's up there, and and it's about to come popping out. So the next thing I remember is me getting up and trying to navigate my way out of the pew and almost tripping and falling. And I'm like skipping down the aisle out of the church, and I'm like squeaking and almost squirting. But I finally make it to the bathroom, and I mean it was bad. I mean I didn't want to sit down for another week. But
so
we go home.
Abandon that house that night.
So we go home, and that was everything that was going to happen from that end. But anyway, so we go home. I go to bed, and I'm like tossing and turning all night. I mean, it's hold on, my cat's eating something. Hey, no, stop! You're being bad. Anyway, So I wake up early morning, and I'm like, oh, man, I wonder what I got for Christmas. And I just fucking throw up everywhere. And it just doesn't end. And I keep throwing up, and I filled up a bucket that I was wise enough to put in my room. And then I filled up another one. And then I go to the bathroom, and I fill up the one there. And I totally had food poisoning. I mean, my mom was like, where does it all keep coming from? And my dad was like, how am I going to get rid of all this puke? So the last thing I remember was I was sick that whole day on Christmas. And my dad, not wanting to, I guess, put the trash bags in the cans outside, took my Glad-filled bags of vomit and buried them in the woods. And he was worried that someone was going to think he had a dead body.
Oh,
So you
man.
give it an A then, is that right?
Nah, double S for sure.
I didn't have Popeyes for 10 years after that, because if you even so much as said the name Popeyes, my cheeks got really hot. But then I finally tried them again. I'm like, you know what? This ain't bad, baby. and then I'd have it again. And I remember, like, the first real time I sat inside a Popeyes, and I gave it an honest shot. And I was like, you know what? I wish I ordered a second biscuit. But yeah, and then their sweet tea is pretty good. I like their red beans and rice when they actually fill the cup up. Their mac and cheese is okay. It's whatever. I mean, their biscuits are second to none.
These
But,
biscuits.
And then they introduced the sandwich, and I'll tell you, it was almost worth the hype. I don't think that one guy deserved to get stabbed for it, but it's pretty good, especially the spicy one. And yeah, with that Cajun mayo. And you know what? I believe in forgiveness, and I believe in the power of love. And I'm gonna give Popeyes a B.
A B.
Yeah, by today's standards,
A B for bowel movement.
I give him a B. You know that moment. You know that moment in Spider-Man 3 when the pumpkin bomb blows up the Sandman, and it's James Franco as the Green Goblin. And it's like, oh God, I got another villain to fight, and he puts out his hand, and Spider-Man's like, oh my God, you came, you're my best friend, and he grabbed his hand, and they team up. That was Popeyes when they released the sandwich.
Well, let's move on to the next restaurant, Roy Rogers.
Number one answer, my favorite burger place ever.
Yeah, I don't go there often, mainly because it's like on the complete opposite end of town, and I'm just never in that area very often. But when I do eat there, it's good. It's a good time. I also, like, I'm sure you'll elaborate on it more, Blake, just your dad's fucking love of Roy Rogers, or Roy's as he calls it. I remember when the Roy Rogers here in Cumberland was remodeling, and they were closed down for, like, 2 months? They were closed down for a while. I remember the day they opened back up, I drove past them to go to work. And I saw your dad, Blake, power walking down the street like he couldn't fucking wait. It was the greatest sight of my life. I was like, oh, Phil's gonna get it today. Me personally, like I said, I don't go there often, but when I do, it's a good time. I'm gonna put Roy Rogers at an A. Blake?
So, my dad doesn't have many things in life.
He's got a son that threw up so much that it could have been a body. Of course, he doesn't have much in life.
But you know what? He always has Roy's.
He's always got Roy's.
He's always got Roy's.
His true son.
Yeah, probably. But anyway, my dad loves Roy Rogers. I mean, shit. I mean, when he was walking, you would have thought he was elected president the day they opened back up. But anyway, he bestowed upon me. He transferred his love of Roy's to me as well, and I love Roy Rogers. They are my favorite burger joint. They've never done me wrong. They've never done me dirty. Roy, he loves me, and he takes care of me.
He really provides for you.
He brought this house together.
Blake, you're gonna put a tear in my eye.
But anyway, no, Roy Rogers is so slept on still by so many people. If you pass on Roy's, if you have no interest, you need to get the fuck over to Roy's and order yourself a number one with bacon. Or I guess that's the number 2. I don't fucking know.
I just eat here.
I just eat there. I don't have the menu memorized. I just know I love it. No. Their fries are great. We haven't. Oh no, we're good. Anyway, no, Roy's is an S. I put it at an S. I love that place, and it is my go-to burger joint. And honestly, it is. If I had to give up a majority of fast food, it is one of the few places that I would actually hold on to.
Another funny story about my girlfriend. She actually got Roy Rogers and Bob Evans mixed up.
Ew.
I mean, I like I like Bob Evans for breakfast. And I was talking to her about one day. I'm like, Bob Evans for breakfast is pretty dope. She's like, I don't know, because apparently they don't have like either of those places where she's from in Arkansas. And she's like, when I first moved here, I went to Bob Evans, and I didn't really like it that much. And she was talking about how she went through the drive-thru. I'm like, what fucking Bob Evans has a drive-thru? And I took her to the Bob Evans here in LaVale. We had breakfast there. She's like, yeah, it was really good. And it wasn't until like a day later she texted me. She's like, oh my God, I went to Roy Rogers when I first got here, not Bob Evans.
Oh, I also want to add, they are one of the few places that has a fixins bar, and where you get to add like, tomatoes, pickles, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And my pop, it tickled the ever-loving shit out of him that it was just called the Fixins Bar. He thought that was just the funniest shit ever. But yeah.
Tate, go ahead.
Well.
Yeah,
Roy Rogers it's an S all the way up and down for me. I love Roy Rogers. I get the number 1, I like the double burger, and yeah, the Fixins Bar. Who'd have known you can create your own side salad? I put everything on: lettuce, tomato, onions, the mild pepper rings, the salsa, what's the hot peppers? Can't believe I can't pull that out of my
banana
brain.
peppers.
Jalapenos?
Yeah, the jalapenos. Put that on there. Ketchup, mustard, boom boom sauce, mayonnaise, horseradish. I load it up with everything. And then once I do that, I usually wrap it back in the foil. Take a straw and poke a hole in the foil, and then again press and condense the burger. Basically, just have like a grease faucet that lets all that shit drip out. Because I care about my health. And then
I'm fucking begging you. Don't ruin Roy Rogers for me right now.
No, I'm not. I love it, man. This is all words of love. This all comes from a loving place. Do you guys remember, I don't know how long ago they stopped doing it, but do you guys remember when the holster of fries came in an actual gun holster?
Yes,
yeah.
I remember that, yeah.
I can remember one of the many, many steps towards becoming a social pariah in high school was in the 10th grade when I walked in with not one but 2 holsters on my actual belt with fucking fries in them.
You know what?
Now that would be, I don't know about now, but 10 years ago that might have been hip and cool, but no. This is long before the Tom Holland, all these nerdy kids were getting all this mad ass. This was when if you brought up Star Wars or Transformers, like you were basically just shunned.
There's a reason why I didn't laugh at you just now, and that's because you can bet my dad tried to see if that would fit on his belt too.
Yeah, well, it took some customization. It definitely did. Plus, your dad was probably wearing a man's belt, and I was wearing some lame-ass, sissy, shitty little Gabe's gimmick belt. But anyway, yeah, I'm all about Roy Rogers. I think they changed something here a few years ago with the Gold Rush chicken sandwich. Like, the piece of chicken isn't as good. But prior to that, I'm a big fan of the Gold Rush chicken sandwich. My big Roy story, I was about 17, and I was rolling in, and I knew I didn't have enough money to get baked beans because I wanted the fries, the burger, and the baked beans, and I didn't have enough money. So me and my buddy Kurt Rupert roll in. I go in, and I get the burger and the fries, and I walk over to the Fixins Bar, and then in an attempt at a ruse to trick them, I walk over, I'm like, hey, where's the baked beans? They're like, what do you mean? I went, I was at the Hagerstown one, and the baked beans are on the Fixins Bar. Well, they're not supposed to. I went, well, I need baked beans. They're like, well, they're not on there. I'm like, well, then take this fucking burger back because I need some fucking baked beans. Wouldn't you know that I raised enough shit that a manager in a Roy Rogers neckerchief took a ladle of baked beans and spread them across my burger. I'm telling you that as a matter of record. I'm not really proud of it. And saying it out loud makes me sound like an even bigger asshole than I probably am.
You were
Yeah, I think it's an S. And the kids that work the one in Cumberland are always super nice. And do you guys use the? I'm sure Blake. I'm sure your dad does. You guys use the app?
No, my dad still has a flip phone.
Oh man, you need to hook him up with that. Of all the fast food apps, and I am a member of a multitude of them, the Roy Rogers app is definitely the most generous. Like, you get a free meal on your birthday. When you scan it, every dollar counts as a point, and there's like 3 days a week where it's double points. And if you get 50 points, you get any sandwich you want. If you get 100 points, you get any meal at any size you want. And if you get 200 points, you get a 16-piece chicken meal with 3 sides, 4 biscuits, and a large drink. And it's like, if you're going to eat there anyway.
Yeah, I know. Thank you for that. I will download that. Also, I wanted to mention, have you had the Texas Pete?
No, I've not.
Oh, the
I'm
Texas.
not a fan of Pete. I can't do anything spicy at all. Like, I can't even do medium buffalo wings. I don't know what it is, but it's been that way my whole life. I can't do heat at all.
It doesn't have literal Texas Pete sauce on it. That's just the name of the sandwich itself. It is their spicy chicken sandwich, and I can tell you that shit slaps so hard. Honestly, when people were debating all the different chicken sandwiches, I'm like, yo, none of y'all have mentioned the spicy or the Texas Pete, and that's the best one. It's great. And then also, I want to add, not only is it my favorite burger place, Roy Rogers has the best fried chicken.
Yeah, it's really good. Their chicken tenders are really good too.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, and the other thing about the app is when you sign up for the app, they get your email. So then every day of the week, I shouldn't say that. It's maybe 4 days a week. You'll get an email at 6 o'clock in the morning. I get an email from Roy saying what the membership special is. So it's not like you can't go there and get it if you aren't on the app, but getting the app lets you know what the deal is in the first place. And they're not advertising it actively. So you go there and say, hey, I want the app deal or whatever, and they hook you up, and it's really the only way you know about it. And like today was the quarter-pound cheeseburger, and it was 2 for $5. I mean, that's a deal.
Nice.
A lot of love for Roy Rogers tonight. Jake, what do you got to say?
I'm unfortunately going to have a slightly different opinion, but not like a crazy, horrifying one. I'm going to have to put, for now, Roy Rogers is going to have to go to a B, just because I think the only time I ate at Roy Rogers, I was like 8 years old, so I don't have much of a memory of it. But every time I ever hear anyone talk about Roy Rogers, or I bring it up to someone who knows what it is, it's nothing but like positive experiences and like, oh my god, it's delicious. So I think next time I go to either DC or come up to the Cumberland area to visit family, I'm definitely going to stop in and get some delicious chicken. I remember it being really good, but that's also 8-year-old me remembering that. 8-year-old me was kind of dumb. I mean, I'm not much smarter now, but you know.
I'll tell you something, Jake. After all this COVID shit's over with, hopefully soon, you and I are gonna meet up, and I'm gonna take you to Roy's. I'll get you fooled up real good.
Do you mean it, Dad?
Yes.
All right, next place, Sheetz. I guess we're cheating a little bit here since Sheetz is a convenience store, gas station, but I mean, the line is so blurred at this place that it's pretty much obliterated. Sheetz, their food is like, they have a couple things that are really good. Like, their breakfast sandwiches are pretty good. But for the most part, I don't think their food's that great. It always fucks my stomach up. Like, I got a Caesar salad from there once, like one of the most unassuming things ever. And I legit the next day thought I was going to have to go to the fucking hospital. Like, my stomach hurts so fucking bad. And I also feel like a lot of their food is overpriced too. If I ever get anything from Sheetz, like made to order, like touchscreen menu that hasn't been wiped down since the 80s, I usually get like their drinks, and their drinks are usually pretty good. But even those, like, they run through me so bad. They give me straight up pee butt. Like, I'm putting Sheets at a D.
Wow.
It's just it's always so risky every time I go there. Like, there's not really any food I want. The drinks just destroy my stomach. Like, it's a D for me.
How are you a child of Western Maryland and you don't like Sheets?
I don't know.
Like, I'm not down with those people that say they're Sheets freaks. Like, I'm not going to fall into the promotion and advertising gimmick where they somehow try to get you to identify with their brand. I think that's stupid.
Yeah.
I live out in Ellerslie, and after, well, any time of the day, but especially after 10 o'clock, if I don't want to have to drive to fucking Cumberland or LaVale, Sheets is my only choice. It's 3 miles up the road, or 2 miles up the road, and I can be up at 2 in the morning and ride up to Sheets. And the girls that work there are super nice, and they, they're always busting their ass. They're always hustling to make the food. I mean, the food is what it is, but I think we all, for better or worse, know what it is. They'll do anything as far as like if I want the fries without salt, or you want, it lightly toasted, like they'll do all that stuff for you. And I think it's fast food because a lot of the Sheets have places to sit down where you're not being served. You can go sit down and you throw your own shit away. Yeah. You're having to walk up and place an order. But also, I think that they're posting their aspect there and they're making that food for you. It's not like, oh, that burger's already made. Let me just squirt ketchup and mustard on it. Like, they're doing all that stuff real time. And like making sandwiches and subs and all that. The one up here in Corriganville.
Tate, you sound really far away.
Is that better?
A little bit.
Nope.
I don't know. I'm literally all over the microphone here. Can you still hear me?
Yeah, we can still hear you, but it sounds like you're like talking into a tin can.
Yeah.
That's weird. Hold on here. Let me see if I can. Is that any better?
Yes, that's much better.
All right, cool. The one up here in Corriganville, they make the Griffin Burger for me. So I'm there often enough that they can make the Griffin Burger. Let me just indulge me by telling you guys what the Griffin Burger entails. You get an everything bagel, 2 quarter-pound burgers, and it has cheddar cheese, American cheese, Swiss cheese, mozzarella cheese, provolone cheese, and pepper jack cheese, and cream cheese to plug the hole on the top of the bagel. It's lettuce, horseradish, barbecue sauce, ketchup, mustard, mayonnaise, pico de gallo, salsa, mild pepper rings, diced onions, tomato, pickles, and then that's everything. Then they wrap the whole thing up. It's about $11, but it's one hell of a hamburger.
Do you get a free fucking like pair of diapers with that?
No, but I have my own key to the toilet.
Well, what do you put Sheets at?
Sometimes when you hear any port in a storm, I'm out here in the, it's close to the middle of nowhere on the outskirts, and if I don't want to have to make a 12-mile, literally a 20-mile round trip to get to anything else, which, by the way, the next thing I run into is a fucking Sheets. For that reason alone, and the quality of the service out there, and the frequency with which I go, I give them an A.
Blake?
So, yeah, I mean, I just feel like I have to like Sheets because, I'm from Western Maryland, but, I mean, yeah, they're not perfect. They're flawed. They have their issues. Their burgers aren't good. Like, they are never evenly, like, warm.
No.
There's always, like, a cold patch in them when I'm biting one.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, like, I feel like their burgers are not heated up all the way. I don't know what the deal is, but there's always, like, an area of them that's cold. But,
I gave McDonald's a B, so. I agree with everything you say. I still stand by my
A. But yeah, I mean, and their fries or whatever. Those mac and cheese bites are pretty solid, though. I like them. But then obviously, like, the best thing at Sheets, the main thing, food-wise, is the hot dogs. I mean, the hot dog deal of like 2 for $1. You can't beat that. But yeah, I mean, also, here's another thing. A word to the wise. do not get those milkshakes at Sheetz that you spin yourself in that machine or whatever.
Oh God, no.
No, you will be airtight.
That
I
machine
remember,
always sounds like it's gonna explode when you use it too.
what is it? What are they called? For real?
Yeah,
Or
for
whatever?
real.
Yeah. I remember I was Michael was going to get one, and I was warning him, and he was mocking me, basically. He was like, Blake, everything makes you sick, whatever. He got one. He texted me that night at like 2 in the morning, 3 in the morning, and he goes, holy shit, you weren't kidding about that milkshake. But yeah, no, those milkshakes will bind you up. As far as like the convenience and the nostalgia, but also the convenience, I'm gonna put Sheetz at A.
Nice.
Jake?
So I will say I've never had a problem with the milkshakes at Sheetz, other than the machine sounds like it's going to explode every time you use it. But I also don't get milkshakes there anymore because they're pretty awful. Like, just in general, they aren't like a good milkshake. There's always like a half inch of unprocessed milkshake at the bottom of those things, and it just ruins it.
Have you ever had the frozen hot chocolate from there?
No, I haven't.
It is
That sounds
really
pretty good.
fucking good.
Also slightly redundant.
I know, but it's really good.
I'll have to try. I'll have to try that. But for the burgers, Blake, I kind of agree with you there. They aren't great. They kind of taste like nothing almost. The trick is you have to order them with the shredded steak on top of them to make them taste like an actual burger. That's what I do anytime I get a burger from there. But usually, if I'm getting something from Sheetz, it's either hot dog, because you can't beat a Sheetz hot dog. Like, they're always awesome. Or I will get a chicken sandwich. And the chicken sandwiches there, I don't do it as much as I used to. This is like a special occasion treat for me now, is I will get the chicken sandwich with just ketchup, bacon, and steak on top of it. And then probably like mozzarella sticks with that. To me, Sheetz is one of those places that it's like it's nice. I like places with touchscreen ordering because I hate people. People can like just leave me the fuck alone forever. So it's nice to just be able to order my own thing. And if I do order my own thing, I can be like, you fucked it up, not me. I ordered it right. So for me, Sheetz is definitely a solid A.
Wow.
Yeah, Sheetz is amazing. You just need to like not have your little bitch tummy like you do.
I'm sorry, are you coming after me?
No, not
He's
you.
coming
I
after
meant Donnie.
me.
You too,
Hey,
Blake, but
yo.
for different reasons.
Blake can attest to this. I eat some nasty fucking shit and walk away from it like it's nothing. So if Sheetz is giving me straight up pee butt, that's Sheetz' problem, not mine.
I feel like I will pay any amount of money if I can have Donnie never talk about his pee butt.
Well, next place, Sonic. Sonic, the food's all right. For me, the main attraction isn't the food. It's like the drinks and the desserts, like the ice cream. Like, all that stuff is great. Like, if I'm going to Sonic, I'm going for that. It's very rare that I get food from there. The milkshakes are great. The slushes are great. Like, I always like enjoy that shit.
It's a really ambitious dessert roster.
Yeah, like there's like there's almost too many ways to customize their shit. I'm gonna put Sonic at a solid B. What do you guys say, Blake?
Yeah, I agree. Sonic is at a B. It's so when I first moved in with my wife, we had a Sonic just right down the street from us. I mean, literally 60 seconds down the street.
Mm-hmm.
So it more so became a thing of convenience. And it was one of those things where it's like, I like Sonic. I especially liked it when it was, once again, a minute down the road. But I don't seek it out. I don't, make a special trip to one. I won't travel to one out of my way. But yeah, no, I mean, their deals are pretty solid. I like their drinks. And, yeah, I mean, you get good hot dogs there. Their fries are pretty, like, I don't want to say they're mediocre, but they're just basic, if that makes sense. Like they're basic in a good way. Like they're nothing special, but like you won't regret them. So yeah, I no Sonic's probably somewhere between a B and a C, but I'm just gonna make it easy and give it a B.
All right, Jake.
I think the first time that I had Sonic was when I went to Bonnaroo in 2010. On my way down there, we stopped at a Sonic, and that was my first time having Sonic, and it was delicious. Didn't have Sonic again until about 3 weeks ago, maybe. I decided to I was having a shitty bad day and needed something to turn my day around, and I was like, oh, I should get a milkshake, but I don't want to have to drive out of the way to go to Dairy Queen. So where can I go for a milkshake? All right, there's a Sonic 5 minutes away from where I work, so I'll stop there. And oh, it was great. It lasted me my whole 20-minute ride home because it's super thick. It was the perfect type of milkshake that I like. A nice thick, perfectly chocolatey milkshake. It doesn't have where it didn't mix right, so there's vanilla just coming up occasionally. Then after that, I think the following week, I was like, you know what? I get off at 11 today. I'm gonna go buy Sonic and I'm gonna get lunch. And I got some boneless honey barbecue wings and some mozzarella sticks, and oh my god, it was perfect. It was exactly what I wanted. I needed something different from Buffalo Wild Wings as far as wings went that was cheaper, and it hit the spot. And I'd agree with both of you. Sonic is definitely a solid B. It's a nice place to, if you see one, you might want to stop in there if one of your S tiers isn't nearby, and just enjoy it.
All right. I do love the running joke that a lot of people think that Sonic the restaurant has something to do with Sonic the Hedgehog, and
Well, I would imagine it's the chili cheese dogs.
Well, that it's also let's be real here. The font type and the logo totally looks like something from a Sonic the Hedgehog game.
It really does. Did they do a tie-in with the movie?
No, I don't think so.
What a bunch of idiots.
Yeah.
I was surprised at how decent that movie was.
Tate, what do you guys say?
I'll be honest with you. It's okay. The biggest thing is every time I've gone, and granted, most of the times I've ever been to one, it's been the one in Hagerstown.
Mm-hmm.
The wait always kills me. It's just I feel like we're always waiting around 15 or 20 minutes. Like I said, they got a really ambitious milkshake lineup. I think my biggest thing is that they're almost like the Kmart version of Steak and Shake. I think Steak and Shake does very similar to what Sonic does, only Steak and Shake is better in just about every single way. I like the burgers more, but they have 30 different milkshakes and a bunch of freezes and all that. And I think they do a better job at it. But,
isn't there more of a wait at Steak and Shake?
Not in my experience. The one before the pandemic, the ones we were always going to was right in Brentwood, which is just outside of Pittsburgh, before you get to the Liberty Tunnel, and we would stop there, I don't know, once every other week or so, and it was usually fairly quick, but it had that, they kind of did that whole 50s diner or 60s diner kind of a flavor, and the same with the burgers were always wrapped in wax paper. It just, I don't know, it had a really cool kind of nostalgic feel, and I thought the food tasted, I don't know, fresher. I don't know. I definitely like it more, and I only say that because it felt like I always thought Sonic was kind of like the step down, the Diet Cola of Steak and Shake. So I'll give it a C.
All right, we're getting close to the end here. Subway. When I worked at AT&T in the mall here in Cumberland, I ate Subway every day for a fucking year and a half straight almost. And it wasn't because I love Subway. It was just because the options were that limited. Subway, I'm kind of with Jake when it comes to subs and sandwich places. If I want a sandwich, I'll just go home and fucking make one myself and save $10. Subway, it's so boring, is the best way I could put it. There's nothing exceptional about anything on their menu. They give you so little meat that it feels like they're ransoming it off. And it's also if you go to a Subway and there's one person working, don't even bother, because if there's like 2 people in line, there might as well be 20 with the amount of time you're going to be waiting. I'm going to put Subway at a D. Jake?
So like, Subway is the only sub place that I've actually eaten at, and it was one of those things like I had tried it and I was like, yeah, it's not bad, but you know, it seems a little pricey for what I'd get on it, just like steak and a little bit of cheese and barbecue sauce. Then I started working at a gas station in Colorado that was attached to a Subway. And sometimes for my lunch break, I wouldn't want our gas station pizza, and I'd go over to Subway. The dudes over there would make me something and give me the employee discount for not working at Subway, and it'd be pretty good. Every now and then, you know, I'd go there and I'd be like, give me just one of the personal pizzas and put bacon on it, and they would literally like cross X strips of bacon in the middle of it and do it that way, and it was so stupid, but you know, good enough for a Subway pizza. After that, you know, after I stopped working at the gas station, I'd go in every now and then and get Subway, and it's just like, Subway's kind of a joke, if we're gonna be honest. There's a YouTuber that I had watched at one point who described Subway as being like one of the worst experiences, because you go in, the people are like, what do you want? You tell them what they want, and then they forget like immediately, and they're like, did you say this type of bread? Yeah. And do you want this on it? Yeah. And then you go to the next person who does all your toppings, and they're like, what do you want? You say one topping, they load it with that topping, and you're like, but I need room for the other 5 toppings I want. So like, well, what's the fucking point? And then you like ask for another topping, they put like 2 onions on it, and you're like, no, I need more onion, you bastard. So it's just, Subway is just the worst. And you know, Subway eat fresh. No, Subway eat absolute garbage. It gets an F from me.
Tate?
It's the drizzling shits. F. Next.
Short, sweet, and to the point.
Straight up F. Blake?
Yeah, I mean, Subway is boring. It's bland. It's no special taste at all. And you know what? Like, working in a mall where that was one of the only 2 or 3 options made me resent it even more.
Mm-hmm.
I'm with you.
Yeah, I mean, no, it's an F. I mean, it's just, wow. I mean, Donnie, of all people, Donnie was the most generous, but we absolutely buried Subway.
What's funny is that for so many years, all 3 of us were subjected to the same fucking Subway. There's more Subways than there are McDonald's, Burger Kings, and Wendy's combined in this country, and the 3 of us were taken advantage of by the same fucking one.
Yeah, but no, it's like what Donnie said, like, if there's 2 people in line, I mean, shit, you may as well get your, like, folding chair that you had waiting for the Phantom Menace.
Which one did you guys go to?
The one in the mall.
Okay, that makes sense.
And it's not that I dislike the people there, it's just it was fucking
Oh, I did. Fuck
boring.
them all. I just see them tie up in their house and burn their house down with their families inside. Fuck that place and fuck everybody that works there.
What were you saying, Jake?
Well, I know that my brother used to eat Subway a lot just because he worked at the old music shop over near Ollie's. But I think most of the time he went in there just because like a cute girl worked there. Like I'm pretty sure that on the first album his band made that he had a song called Sub Shop Sweetheart about the girl who worked at Subway.
Okay, so basically, what I'm getting at is here, she worked at Subway, so what was wrong with her? There has to be a catch.
Hey, those people are artists, okay?
Okay, no.
Yeah, they're sandwich artists, Blake. They get paid the big bucks to slap some pastrami on a bun.
Hey, the people that work at Subway are artists the way Count Chocula is a vampire, okay? Like, that's, if you squint, maybe, but... By the way, I don't know what hot girl works at Subway. It always looks to me like an elephant man. The elephant man with a ponytail is working there.
But seriously, America, look at Pete Davidson's lips.
Speaking of Count Chocula, you know why he's able to go out in the sunlight, unlike other vampires? Because he's a breakfast vampire.
Okay.
What up?
I award you no points, and may God have mercy on your soul.
Joke's on you. I don't believe in God. Next place.
How many more of these fucking places do we have?
We got
only like 3 or
I'm
4.
having a great time, but it's midnight. I don't spend this much time on the phone with friends contemplating suicide.
Should we speed round these last ones?
we got
No, I'm not rushing you. I was just curious.
we got 4 more. We're almost done. Next one, Taco Bell. I legit did not expect this to go as long as it did either.
I did.
Yeah,
We
this
have
is kinda
50
surprising.
fucking restaurants.
Yeah, it's good times, man.
Taco Bell. If you would have asked me like maybe a year ago, I probably would have put Taco Bell at maybe an A or a B. But like their recent menu changes, like they took so much stuff off, and like a lot of the stuff I understand, but then they took some stuff off, like the quesarito, which is like such a go-to item for me. I mean, people always, if you tell people like I like Taco Bell, you always get like that one person like, ooh, it's so nasty. It's Americanized Hispanic food from a drive-thru at midnight. At what point are you expecting French waiters? Like, I know what decisions I'm making right now. I'll put Taco Bell at a B. Like, I still go there a decent amount. I feel like they've scaled their menu down too much recently. But there's still always something that I want from there. So I'll give it a B. Blake? Oh, go ahead, Tate.
Let me ask a question, just if I could ask a tag onto your statement there. Do you think that the menu scaled down because of certain things having to do with the COVID deal, like things that are harder to make, or this, that, or you don't think that has anything to do with it?
I don't know. It might not. I don't think they really gave a reason why. I mean, like I said, a lot of the stuff they took off the menu, I totally get why. Like they took off like those burritos that had like potatoes in them, which I'm like, I never fucking ordered those. And I don't think I ever saw anybody else ever order those. But then they took off the quesarito, which is basically like, if they took it off because of COVID, I legit don't understand how COVID could result in that being taken off when it's got like the same ingredients as 90% of the rest of the menu. So I don't know. Blake, what do you guys say?
Anyway, Taco Bell almost killed me. So I mean, Taco Bell does have the stigma. There is the stereotype. There is the legend almost, of like, if you eat a Taco Bell, you're going to have like diarrhea really bad. For me, like one night there was blood. And it's just, yeah, there was legit blood in my stool, and it was like 2 or 3 in the morning. It kept happening. I was about ready to like call my dad and ask him to come home from his shift so he could take me to the hospital. But then I was like, I would just want to go to bed. But yeah, no, I mean Taco Bell, like their main thing, their main saving grace, their main their main thumbs up is that they're cheap as shit.
Mm-hmm.
Which yeah, like. God, I mean,
it's midnight. I'm randomly hungry, and I don't feel like spending more than $10.
No, it'd be the cheapest form of suicide anyone can pull off. But I mean, like, yeah. So for me, Taco Bell is an F. It almost killed me. There was blood.
Jake?
Well, due to not only my dislike of Mexican food, but also to the horrible stigma behind Taco Bell, I've never actually had Taco Bell.
Really?
Yeah, for real. Like every time, they always have like, you'll work somewhere and they'll be like, oh, let's do something special for everyone, and they'll be like, oh, we'll do a Taco Tuesday and we'll just order cheap shit from Taco Bell, and I'm just there like, I'm sure everyone will enjoy that. Not gonna eat any of it anyway, so whatever.
Tate?
Well, if you'd have asked me 10 years ago, I would have given Taco Bell an F. But if you're asking me today, I give Taco Bell an F. It's fucking horrible. I don't eat it at all. Like, it's one of those things where since the pandemic started, there's been probably 4 or 5 times that I've ended up going through the drive-thru because they were the last ones open at that part of town when I was coming through with the kids or something, and they'd get stuff, and I'd have something, and I regretted it every time. Like, there's nothing on the menu I'll order. It's all big thumbs down, other than the Baja Blast Freeze, which I enjoyed that from time to time, but one half-frozen Mountain Dew soft drink does not a good menu make, so
yeah. All right, then. Next place, White Castle. Probably my favorite thing about White Castle is the fact that they have a size that's called a sack. I think that's fantastic. I mean, I don't know if you guys have ever seen Harold and Kumar, but that scene when they get to White Castle and they get a literal mountain of food for like $30, that's not an exaggeration. White Castle is legit like that. You can get a shit.
Oh, it's glorious.
Yeah, you can get a shit ton of food for not a lot of money, and it's pretty decent. I mean, I know like it sucks that there aren't like too many of them, especially like around here, but like it's good. A lot of food, not a lot of money, and it's decent quality. I'm putting White Castle at an A. Blake?
Never been.
Jake?
Same. I don't think I've ever even seen a White Castle.
Tate?
I see a White Castle every night in my dreams.
Oh, we're getting some feedback.
I love White Castle. It's like I grew up eating the ones in Tennessee, which were the southern version of White Castle is called Crystal Burger with a K, and it's exact same thing, like exact same food. And I don't know if it's owned by the same people or whatever, but yeah, anytime I'm in the north and go to White Castle, what I really like about them in the last few years is that they've started mimicking the flagship burger of other places.
Mm-hmm.
So you can get like their version of a Big Mac or a Whopper, or whatever. They make doubles and triples, and they have a Sloppy Joe one now, and they have a fish sandwich and chicken sandwich, and there are all these sliders. And, yeah, I give it an A.
Tate, please tell the story about the one time you had like 20 of their fucking sliders by yourself and almost fucking died in the middle of your comics shop.
It sucks to have to say this, but you'd probably have to narrow that down because they sell a thing called the crate case where you get 30 cheeseburgers in a suitcase. And usually when I'm getting them, I'm on a road trip. And I figure on average, if I pace myself, I can usually put away about 15 of those an hour for as many hours as I have them.
I just remember, I think you said you went to Detroit and you drove back that previous night. And you were letting out some of the most noxious fucking farts ever. Like, we ended up naming one Squelchy. It was so nasty. I thought you were going to die. And then you decided to order pizza for us. And, like, the best part was, right as you called the pizza place, and right as they picked up, you fucking farted and gassed yourself out. So the pizza guy is, all he's hearing is you, like, coughing and gagging, and me in the background just cackling like a little girl. Oh.
Well, I just sent a picture of the garbage that was on my tray from the last time I was at White Castle.
That's
It's in the group thing there.
Oh my god, that's amazing.
Yeah, I ate like 25 of them. And Z was with me. We were. That was actually the last time I was there, the Detroit run. And yeah, it's glorious. I give him an A.
You know, I was about to ask, how are you not like 500 pounds? But then I remembered the wrestling, so it's all good. I understand now.
I'm like 325, and thank God I'm 6'5".
Oh yeah, that definitely helps too.
Yeah.
Next place,
Donnie.
Yeah, go ahead.
I gave Taco Bell an F. You need to get that shit out of the fucking D range on my thing.
Oh, my bad.
Oh, did we skip? Did we skip Blake's weigh-in on Taco Bell?
No, I put it in the wrong spot.
Oh. I thought that's where the anus blood came from.
Yeah.
Yes.
Not to make light of it. It's fucking horrible.
It stung.
Second to last place of the evening, Wendy's. Wendy's is my side chick. I love Wendy's. I've loved Wendy's ever since the first time I went there. I will say their fries are a serious weak point. Like, they're so bland. Like, the McDonald's fries feel like they have a ton of salt on them to hide the mistakes, whereas I feel like the Wendy's fries need salt. They just need that little extra something at the end. But the sandwiches and the burgers and the chicken, it's all still really good. And their breakfast that they recently started doing is great. I wish that their breakfast fries were their regular fries because those potato wedges are fucking gold. A weak part of the breakfast, though, is their iced coffee. It's not that great. But I'm still going to put Wendy's at an A. Like, I still love it. I put up with the bland-ass fries for a triple or a Baconator any day. Like, it's good. Blake, what do you guys say?
Yeah, I mean, you and I are pretty much on the same page. Their regular fries are not that great. Their breakfast fries are magnifico.
They're so
yeah,
good they made them Spanish.
yes, and but yeah, and they're frosty chino or whatever. It's like,
Meh.
ooh, I could almost taste myself getting diabetes. But yeah, I mean, like, and their coffee, their regular hot coffee is all right. But I mean, like, once again, I just get black coffee and add 3 creams, 1 sugar. That's gonna taste about the same no matter where you go.
Right.
But yeah, I mean, their burgers are good. Their deals are pretty good. 4 for $4. Or my dad's favorite, the $5 biggie bag, which like he gets the biggest kick out of that. But yeah, I give him an A.
Jake?
Okay, quick question. When did the Jim Carrey Grinch movie come out?
I'm a little confused with what this has to do with anything, but I want to say like 2001, 2002?
Okay, up until last week, that was the only time, 2001, 2002, when I had Wendy's. And I only know this because I had it at my cousin's house when I was spending the weekend there, and they had Grinch toys in their kids' meal stuff. And it was like the Grinch with the dog on the sled, and you froze it in an ice cube tray and could slide it across the floor. Other than that, I didn't really remember much of Wendy's, and then got asked to be on this podcast, had to try a couple of things. After work, I was like, I'll swing by Wendy's, I'll get some nuggets and try it out. And I will first say that I agree with the fry situation. They're pretty bland. They aren't the best. They are that nice thicker fry, which I do prefer more than like a shoestring fry.
Mm-hmm.
But I got a 4-piece of regular nuggets and a 4-piece of spicy with the barbecue sauce. Did like one both without sauce, then tried the sauce, and like, oh my god, that might be one of the best fast food barbecue sauces I've had in a long time. Like, I'm a huge barbecue sauce person. I put it on everything. My personal favorite is the King's Hawaiian Bacon Barbecue that has smoked bacon inside the barbecue sauce. It's the perfect thing. But yeah, Wendy's, like, the nuggets were wonderful. It was nice to bite into a nugget and be like, wow, this is the whitest white meat chicken nugget I've ever seen. Like, it was amazing. And the spicy ones have like just enough spice where you could like eat it for lunch and then not hate yourself afterwards when going back to work. I would say I will give Wendy's a solid B with much room to improve as I expand my taste there from here on out.
All right, Tate?
When they announced that they're going to have this thing called the Frosty Chino, I thought immediately that it sounded like an Alaska-based outpost of a Mexican prison. That's just what came to my mind. Hey, man, where you looking? Frosty Chino. I give it an A for one reason and one reason only. I mean, I like everything on the menu, more or less. The breakfast Baconator. I get the breakfast Baconator, and I have them replace the bun with one of their biscuits, and it's the shit. It's everything you need in a sandwich, and unlike every other breakfast sandwich from everybody else, it looks, when you get it, like it does in the picture. They put 6 pieces of bacon on it. I mean, you know, there's egg, the biggest piece of sausage, I think, of any of the fast food restaurants. And then the biscuits are really, really good. I've never had a bad one. And so I give them an A.
All right, last place for the evening. Checkers. Oh, well, actually, we skipped one.
Did you guys take Starbucks?
Yeah, we accidentally skipped Starbucks. My mistake.
We skipped a couple, actually. We also have Boston Market, too.
I don't know how we
did that's fast food.
I don't know how we ended up skipping those. I must have messed up somehow. Well, we'll run through Boston Market because I've never eaten there. Blake, what do you rank it at?
Oh, I'll give him a C.
What about you, Jake?
I've never eaten there.
Tate?
I give him a D. It's about 2 steps below the shittiest cafeteria food I ever had in high school.
Like, what exactly is Boston Market? Like, what's their like thing?
literally you go through and it's like basically like the Walmart hot deli bar where you can pick out like mashed potatoes and mac and cheese and some kind of chicken, and they put it all in a fucking styrofoam container, and they're like, here you go, here's your carbohydrate special for the day. You basically go through and pick like 2 sides and a main meat and then like a roll. It's supposed to be like an actual meal, but it's really not, in my opinion.
I don't know how I accidentally skipped those, but that is my bad. So let's move on to Starbucks. Starbucks straight up F for me. Like, the coffee is not that special. It's another place that I feel is super pretentious. Again, the coffee's not special. Like, I couldn't even tell you what kind of food they serve there, and they charge way too much for what they give you. It's a straight up F for me. Blake?
Well, one, I had Panera as a C, not a D, so please move that. As for Starbucks, I give it a solid C. I mean, it is what it is. You probably have an idea of what it's like if you haven't been there much, but also, I don't know. Yeah, it's a C.
Jake?
I don't drink coffee, but I'm pretty sure I had a croissant there once when my mom went, and it was a croissant. I give it a D.
Tate?
Historically, I always thought it was kind of pretentious and like almost intimidating. Like, I don't know enough about what I'm supposed to be saying.
Yeah.
And I feel like there's all this judgment. About 2 years ago, Rio and I were riding up to Pittsburgh, and we stopped at the one in Somerset, and they were super nice. And I basically just laid my cards on the table. Like, look, I'm not a coffee aficionado. I want something that's kind of sweet, that's not horrible for me, and I'd like it to be cold. And they hooked me up with a couple different options. And I'm a big fan of, put your money where your mouth is. Almost every single Sunday, my wife and I get up, we get in the car, she and I drive to Somerset and go through the line at Starbucks. I get a nitro cold brew with the pumpkin foam and the sweet cream, and she gets something similar, and I pay them $12 or $13 for 2 cups of coffee, and when I take a drink of it, it makes my day. It's fucking incredible. And I drive a 1-hour round trip for that cup of coffee every week. I fucking love it. And the ladies that are there are super nice and like overly nice all the time. The food, I don't eat any of the food because most of it tastes like it was probably frozen that way and they just thawed it out and then heated it. But I give it an A simply because it's part of my weekly routine and I look forward to that shit. It's fucking awesome. It's like I said, nitro cold brew. It's what's up, and I've never tasted coffee that good anywhere else. So I give it an A.
Oh, definitely unexpected from you.
Yeah, I know. I don't seem nearly that white or preppy.
All right, now our final place of the evening, Checkers. Checkers, like, I finally had it for the first time like a year ago, and I thought it was fucking amazing. Like, the burgers are good. The fries are, like, super crispy, which I really like. I mean, I'm going to give Checkers an A, and the only reason I don't give Checkers an S is because there is no consistency with them when it comes to quality. Like,
yeah.
Like, if you go to, like, pretty much any of these other places, like, most drive-through fast food places these days are open until, like, the midnight, 1 a.m., 2 a.m. range. If you go to one of these places at, like, midnight, 1 a.m., it might be a step or so below, like, their peak quality, but it's still going to be close enough that you're going to, like, accept it. Checkers, once the sun goes down, the people who give us shit fucking leave Checkers for the day. Like, you cannot go to Checkers after, like, 9 p.m. It is absolute garbage. Like, Tate, I remember one time when we went to another open mic in Hagerstown, you and I went to Checkers, like, when we first got there, like, maybe 6 in the evening. We got food. I got, like, a triple and fries, and it was fucking amazing. And I remember we went back because we didn't leave the open mic until, like, midnight. And we went back, and you got, like, a burger and some fries, like just a regular burger. And it was, like, the sorriest fucking looking burger I've ever seen in my life. It was almost like it came from a completely different place. So, I mean, like, Checkers, it's good if you're there at the right time. If you're there at the wrong time, it's complete horse shit. Blake, what do you gotta say?
I've only been there like twice. I wasn't like overly impressed with them. I didn't think the fries were all the hype, but yeah, I mean, I want to say it's like somewhere for me between a C and a D, but I don't want to be. Oh, you know what? Shit, probably a D.
Really?
I can't. Can we just hover it between a C and a D? Can we just put it in between them?
I don't know. You sounded pretty sure about that D.
I don't know if I'm being too mean then, but yeah, just put it at D because I haven't bothered to go back.
Okay.
Yeah.
Jake?
So my only experience with Checkers is buying frozen French fries of theirs from a grocery store.
Don't even compare.
Really?
No, the ones from the grocery store are not even close.
Cool. Well, I was gonna give it a C. I'm gonna keep it at a C because fries are pretty good, and it's one of those things where if I was in the right mood and I saw Checkers, I'd be like, yeah, let's swing in and see what the real deal is.
All right, Tate?
Yeah, I'm probably going to go with a C as well. Like you were saying about consistency, Zach and I have gone there a bunch of times, and I'd say if I had to rank everything as a thumbs up or a thumbs down, about half the time it gets a thumbs up, and about half the time it gets a thumbs down.
Yeah.
And as a result, I'm usually pretty close to the vest and conservative with how much money I'm spending there. Because it's like I'd rather spend $3 and it tastes like crap than spend $10 and it tastes like crap. So
Yeah.
I don't find them very reliable.
Yeah, when they're
Like
good,
good to
they're
see.
good. When they're bad, they're awful.
Yeah.
All right, well, that was the last place, boys. We did it. Dude, this was a fun fucking show. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah. I like how we all kind of are similar, but we have like one or two things each that are way different than each other.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like that.
I would say just looking at the charts right now, Jake, you probably have the most like evenly balanced chart.
Yeah. I think hard about these things.
But no, this was a lot of fun. So, dude, seriously, Jake and Tate, thank you guys for being on the show tonight. And thank everybody for listening and watching tonight. Listen to a couple of fat boys talk about fat boy things. This will be on YouTube, Spotify, Apple, all that fun stuff within the next day or so. So definitely, if you tuned in late or missed this, be on the lookout for that.
Before we go, I have one question.
Yes.
Has this truly been the fattest minute?
This minute was fucking obese. Like it's
yes. This minute has type 2.
It's probably lost both its feet at this point. But on that note, I think it's safe to call it. So thank you guys for listening.
All right. Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
No problem.
Yeah,
Thanks
it
for
was
being
another fun podcast. Thanks for welcoming me back.
here. Yep.
Hey, I got to say, I'm sure that there's a lot of friends listening. I got to say right now, just on the phone here, Blake, are you still there?
Yes, I'm here.
Your daughter is like literally one chromosome away from being a Disney cartoon. She is the most adorable human being I've ever seen in my entire life.
Thank you very
I
much.
second that.
Yeah, she's one of the few like Facebook babies I see that I'm like, I like that one.
Yeah.
Like she doesn't immediately make me go like, ugh, baby.
My day is measurably better when I see a picture of her. She's just absolutely adorable, man. Enjoy it while it lasts, while she's little, and while you matter. Okay.
Wait, what was that last part?
I said while you matter.
While I matter.
I mean, I'm being facetious, but as they get older and they need you in a different way, and right now the way she needs you is the sweetest. So enjoy that, man. It's great.
Well, on that note, good
Thank
night,
you.
everybody, and be safe.
Take care.
Good night.